case 6.
We shift our focus to this now. The South African Weather Service has denied claims that a storm is brewing at the organisation following renewed allegations of fraud and corruption. Management has been accused of financial mismanagement, abuse of power and tender irregularities. These include allegations that the board has shielded some in the executive from accountability. This is not the first time the Weather Service has been rocked by similar claims. Spokesperson Oba Sekhalwe has labelled as false the reports of governance failures. He says the procurement process to acquire a new high-performance computing system to run weather prediction models is above board.
The latest and most recent process is now at an advanced stage of bid evaluation. The evaluation will be succeeded by a bid adjudication and a recommendation of the successful bidder to the CEO consider for approval. In addition to the existing checks and balances, the current board has resolved that the process be subjected to a double-blind review in order to prevent irregular expenditure.
To this now, the DA says poor people have a much better chance of climbing out of poverty in a municipality governed by the organisation than anywhere else in the country. The party held a media briefing today where it unveiled a new billboard along the N1 highway in Johannesburg. The billboard reads, BEE made ANC elites rich and left SA poor. It is part of the organisation's strategy to have broad-based black economic empowerment scrapped and replace it with its own public procurement amendment bill. DA Federal Council Chairperson Helen Ziller says while Triple BEE prioritises race, the party's bill focuses on all poor people in the country.
And in South Africa, the vast majority of unemployed and poor are black people. They get the best free basic services package where the DA governs. They get the best opportunities, the best public access through transport and various other things. It is far better for a poor person to land up in a DA administration because they can get onto the ladder of getting out of poverty.
And the International Federation of the Red Cross has warned that Hurricane Melissa could affect 1.5 million people in Jamaica. The Category 5 storm is on a slow path through the Caribbean and expected to make landfall on the Jamaican coast this afternoon. The island's Health and Wellness Ministry has reported 3 storm-related deaths in the lead-up to the hurricane. According to the U.S. National Hurricane Center, Melissa ranks as the world's strongest storm of the year based on its maximum wind speeds and low central pressure. After hitting Jamaica today, Melissa is forecast to cross over eastern Cuba this evening. Gold is trading at $3,903.62 an ounce. The rand is at 17.25 to the dollar, 22.95 to the pound, 20.10 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $65.62 a barrel.
In the traffic in Fourways, there has been an accident on Winnie Mandela Drive just before Leslie Avenue, slowing down traffic from Witkoppen Road. And in Calvin, roadworks are slowing down traffic on the N3 North between Marlborough Drive and the Betlu interchange.
In your sport, Quinton de Kock back in the Proteas fold as they take on Pakistan in the first T20. Proteas women aiming to reach maiden 50-over World Cup final. And coachless Banyana chase WAFCON qualification.
It's a partly cloudy afternoon in Gauteng today with isolated showers and thundershowers expected. Temperatures have peaked at highs of between 26 and 28 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, the family of 2 women shot and killed in Mamelodi at the weekend says they're deeply hurt by the slander they have experienced following that ordeal.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
You're with John Perlman on 702.
Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app, DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
Very good afternoon, everyone. It's 9 minutes past 3 on Tuesday, the 28th of October. This is 702 Drive with me, John Perlman. Wherever you're listening to us in 702 land, welcome to the show. South Africa's women cricketers are counting down to a massive match tomorrow against England. World Cup semi-final that pits them against a team that absolutely hammered them at the start of the tournament. But every day is a new day. Fast bowler Tumi Sekukune joins us with news from the camp at 4:10. Some other stories we're doing. The Madlanga Commission heard more evidence from the world of ballistics today. Alpha Ramushwane is following that story, joins us in a moment. Meanwhile, the Deputy Minister of Police, Castle Matale, is speaking in the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee, looking into the same set of allegations. We'll hear about that after 5. Have you ever thought of doing business in China? Maybe you are already doing business either in China or trading here with Chinese companies. It's not straightforward from what I've heard, but certainly rich in possibilities. Today we start a new feature that looks at relations between our countries. We call it China Unlocked. We'll do that at 4:10. And have you ever discovered that you have an owl living in the place of work, or perhaps at your place of rest? It happens, and it does need dealing with as humanely and effectively as possible. More on that in our Green Tip of the Week at 4:10. We've got all that and a whole lot more on 702 Drive, including breaking news, news from the roads in our regular traffic updates, and the latest from the markets. The JSE is trading strongly after a shaky start to the day, down sharply at one point, but the all share is now up by 1,040 points, a gain of almost 1%. Financials are leading the lift, the index up by 2.1%, resources up by 0.8%. Individual stocks catching the eye include Kumba, which is up by 3.75%, Remgro by 3.25%, MTN and Nedbank up by 3%. We Buy Cars is down by 14.4%. There's a story there. I'm sure Stephen Curtis will no doubt share that with us later. As for the rand, our currency trading at 17.25 against the US dollar. A euro will cost you 20 rand 10. 22 rand 95 will get you a pound. The oil price is down by 25 cents. Always glad to see that. Brent crude trading at $64.72 a barrel. Levels on oil still elevated from last week. Stephen, as I said, joining us with all the details at 4:25. We'll have sport with Tolakele Mganga, and Mbali Dlamini has the very latest news headlines, and Khomotso Munyai keeping an eye on the roads for us. This is 702 Drive. We're live in the place where you live, and if it's happening in 702 land, you'll hear it here first. Of course, if you've heard about something that we haven't heard about, please do give us a call on 011 883 0702, either breaking news or a take on the news that we think we're covering, but maybe we're missing a key bit, and then there's always the possibility that we simply have got the wrong end of the stick. Help us out if you will, if you can, 072 702 1702. It's 3:13.
702.
Let's walk the talk.
As always, we have lots to talk about, lots of things to ask questions about, and plenty to think about, including some of those random thoughts that we like to pluck out of the air and bring to you and say to you, okay, well, what do you think about this particular thing or that? Now, today's random thought is very much my own, and I'll put it in context, keep it brief if I can. I've been watching a series called The Pit, and maybe you've watched it, won plenty of Emmy Awards. It is what's called, I think in the trade, a hospital procedural. It's set in a hospital in Pittsburgh, called the Pittsburgh something hospital, hence the Pit, the name in the title, 2 T's in Pit. Won loads of Emmys, so clearly a much acclaimed series, and it's all set in the hospital. You never get out of the hospital, occasionally into the parking lot where people go to have a cigarette, and in one case, somebody went there not expecting to get punched, but getting punched anyway. But yeah, it's very intense, and as befits the emergency section of a hospital, there are people who are seriously ill, wounded, etc. This is happening all the time. Now, I'm not quite sure why this is happening, but as I watch it, I find myself getting furious with certain characters to the point where I find myself actually screaming. Screaming is too strong, but speaking very loudly in very unflattering terms, i.e. swearing at them on TV. And, you know, once in a while I say to myself, this is fiction. Chill. These are not real people. This is not a ref in a Rugby World Cup semi-final where things really do matter. Just like, chill. But I have developed a hatred for some of the characters, and if people are watching it, we can go into which ones a little bit later. This has happened to me before, where I've got just mad with certain TV characters, and I'm wondering, is it because, I'm out there and maybe a little crazier than I've accepted? Or is this quite common that people actually watch TV shows and they develop strong, negative, furious feelings about characters? And if you have a story like that, first of all, I'll be relieved because this is not something I want to be completely on my own with. But secondly, I'd be intrigued as to who makes you hate them and why. So Jonathan Fairbairn, who is one of the nicest people I know, actually, but I'm sure he's capable of hatreds of some sort. But he and I are a little bit oil and water in our temperament. TV characters that you've developed a strong feeling for, negative one.
Yeah, afternoon, John. And I think there's many of you out there who hate TV characters.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
good.
You do not walk alone.
Thank you.
I mean, if a series has to have a character that you hate, or
Yes.
even multiple characters in different seasons that go, if it's got multiple seasons. But one that stands out for me, if you were a Game of Thrones fan, was everybody says there was King Joffrey that they hated. But there was a guy towards, I think it was the middle end of the series called Ramsay Bolton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never watched the series, so.
No, I can't even describe how horrible and sadistic this guy was. You have to watch it yourselves. But he would basically capture people. He would cut them with knives. He would set his dogs on them. He was just terrible.
Doesn't sound that
bad. And he took absolute pleasure in the stuff that he did.
Serious sadist.
Yeah, and he did something to one character that I was quite fond of. And this was probably what just amplified the hatred. So I probably sat there in my room, TV room, and was like yelling some terrible things at the TV screen as well. But he got his day. I won't say what happened, but he got his day, and I celebrated on that particular day. But I think out of all the series I've watched, he's probably the worst.
Okay, Ramsay Bolton from Game of Thrones, somewhere in the middle of the catalogue. So, Khomotso, we getting to know you. I mean, do you get crazy over TV characters? Has your voice been known to raise and perhaps language grow a little foul?
I mean, not as passionate as you guys. And this is quite funny because I understand that your basis is mostly on violence. So I'm more of a hopeless romantic. So most of my characters will definitely be people from romantic movies or romantic series. And I'll go back way, way back. And I think the character that I cannot stand at all has to be Rosie's fiancé from Titanic. That guy was obnoxious. I couldn't stand him. I think his name was Carl. And I'm not sure. I think he was played by Billy something. I'm not sure what's
Billy
his...
Bob Thornton? No,
I think Billy. I don't know what his real name is.
Crystal.
Yeah.
But Billy something. I know the character he played was Carl, and he was just so condescending. He believed money and power was, everything to him. And I think particularly what I really didn't like about this gentleman was the fact that he stood in the way of true love. I cannot stand people who do that. Please, can we not be anti-love? Then I'm going to hate you.
He also wanted to get onto the rescue boat.
Yes, there was that part. Yes. Yeah. Oh, do you see what I mean?
Movie. Yeah.
So no, that one definitely does not have my heart.
Cole Cal Hockley, played by Billy Zane.
Yes.
And Wikipedia, this will confirm, because Wikipedia does confirm things that we want to be certain are true. Rose's arrogant and snobbish 30-year-old fiancé, heir to a Pittsburgh steel fortune who resents Rose's affection for Jack. I have never seen the movie, so...
You've never seen Titanic?
Not watched.
No.
Ever?
Sure.
No, I know about the ending, but...
Please don't say that out loud.
We won't spoil the ending for you.
Hey?
We won't spoil the ending for you.
But I will tell you, I think the only reason why we actually keep coming back to these series and shows is the fact that we absolutely have characters that we hate. And so I think they're doing a really good job if we hate them that much.
Characters that you hate in TV series, give us a ring on 011 883 0702. Tell us why you hate them and tell us to what extent they get under your skin. Are you out of the couch and screaming and shouting like some people I know, i.e. me, or do you just kind of come to a slower boil and keep it quiet? 072702 1702, 20 minutes past 3.
Drive home with John Perlman
On 702, let's walk the talk.
Okay, let's find out what's happening out in the traffic, another environment in which the odd curse word has been known to be heard, but hopefully not too bad out there. Khumotso, what's it like?
We'll start on four ways. There's been an accident on Winnie Mandela Drive. Just before Leslie Avenue, it is slowing down traffic from Witkopen Road. Also on the M1, there's roadworks on the M1 North. These are causing delays between Marlborough Drive and Woodmead Drive. So maybe just a little bit of patience there. Also, traffic lights are out in these areas. We'll start in Rand Park Ridge. At the N1 in Bearsnodia Drive, pointsmen are on duty though. In Sandown at Cambridge Road and Witkopen Road, pointsmen are also on duty there. And in Midrand at the R55 and Waterfall Drive, traffic lights are out there as well. And lastly, in Centurion at the N1 and Old Joburg Road, there's traffic lights that are out as well there and pointsmen are on duty. To report any traffic problems, please send us a tweet. We are on X at EWN Traffic.
Clement Maniatella,
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
Coming up on the next Clement Maniatella show, we're live in Westbury following the recent shooting of 7 young men which left 2 of them deceased, including a 13-year-old last week. Police believe this has to do with gangs and drugs, issues that have affected the Westbury community for the longest time. So what's the solution? Is this going to be the story of this community forever? What's the community doing? What are the police doing? The Clement Maniatella show is live from the Westbury Recreation Center on Wednesday to discuss this scourge of drugs and gang violence.
Clement Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702.
Get ready, South Africa. Mzansi Ballet proudly presents Sean Bovim's Private Presley, the ballet, a spectacular reimagining of the life and legend of Elvis Presley. From his military days to his greatest loves, experience the king of rock and roll story told through breathtaking dance. Starring international ballet sensation George Wade from Mexico as Elvis and South Africa's own prima ballerina Angela Revi as Priscilla. Beautiful singers Logan James and Patience Mahema bring some of his unforgettable songs to life. Don't miss this unforgettable tribute on stage at Peter Turin Theatre Monte Cassino, 24 October to 30 November. Book now at Web Tickets.
To celebrate 25 years of helping you live the Premier life, F&B Premier is giving you a chance to win a 14-day European tour experience and other cool monthly prizes. Open any F&B Premier account from September to 31 December 2025. Switch your salary, swipe or tap a minimum of 2,000 Rand per month for 3 months straight. Spend and win with F&B Premier. F&B, help changes everything. TCs and competition rules apply. F&B, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
Here's the thing about running a business. It needs constant connection with reliable communication between you, your staff, and customers. That's why the right partnership matters. Get Cloud PABX from Telkom Business, a unified communication solution that makes connecting easy from just 161 rands per month.
This summer, your business deserves the best. Visit telkom.co.za/business for deals that keep your business online all the time. T's and C's apply. Telkom Business. Possible begins here.
This week, 702 is in conversation with Auto & General. We will be talking about Auto & General's events liability insurance. It is the insurance for event managers, organizers and exhibitors, protecting them if something goes wrong. Whether you're organizing a once-off celebration or series of events, this is a conversation you don't want to miss. 702 in conversation with Auto & General this Thursday on 702 Drive with me, John Perlman. Auto & General is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP, T's and C's online.
You're with John Perlman on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Well, a very interesting and important day at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry yesterday, very much in focus. The way in which the ballistics services go about their work, and in particular, the way in which they've investigated some of the murders and crimes that have been central to the narrative around the allegations made by Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. More ballistics experts in this are taking the stand today, and watching them closely as he was yesterday, our EWN colleague Alpha Rambushwana. Alpha, very good afternoon to you. How did today's testimony move what we heard yesterday forward? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, John. So yesterday we had testimony from Mishak Mkabela, who is the head of the South African Police Services Ballistics Division. And really what he gave was an overview of what the division does. He was telling us that with criminal investigations, they have to analyze firearm evidence and support the investigators with reaching a conclusion, or at least giving them leads in the case. And today we heard testimony from two analysts, ballistic analysts, who served under Mishak Mkabela's division, the ballistic division. And both of these analysts, ballistic analysts, worked for the Political Killings Task Team from 2018. And really what they were tasked with doing is analyzing firearm evidence related to the murder of Armand Swart, who was killed last year in a case of mistaken identity. Armand Swart's company had identified or blew the whistle on a corrupt Transnet tender awarded to a company linked to Katiso Katie Mulefe's nephew, Lucky Mulefe. And what they did, they linked Armand Swart's murder to a number of other criminal cases, including that of DJ Sambodi, DJ Vintos, a businessman in Gauteng, Don Tingleni. And really, over the past few hours, they've been telling us that through analyzing the cartridges and the bullets, and comparative analysis on the firearms, they managed to link the murder of, or the firearm that killed Armand Swart to the firearm that killed DJ Sambodi, DJ Vintos, and Don Tingleni. So they were telling us about the process of comparative analysis and how they got to the linking those cases together.
So one of the strong themes yesterday was just around the massive under-resourcing of the SAPS's ballistics analysis capacity. And if you want to hear more about that, please go to primemediaplus.com, where I got the thoughts on that of Dr. Guy Lamb, who's at Stellenbosch University, a crime analyst. But the other thing that came up, Alpha, yesterday was what appeared to have been significant bungling in the analysis of the weapon and the ballistics that flowed out of the murder of Armand Swart. That weapon should have been linked to, I believe, at least 20 other cases. And the big issue that seemed to be front and center, certainly from the evidence leader, was this incompetence, or was it a deliberate sabotage of the investigative process? Did that thread come up again today? And if so, are we any the wiser as to which of those two it might have been?
Yeah, I think it's beginning to move now. I mean, you would remember that the investigator in Armand Swart's case, Michael Puletau, was arrested shortly after his murder because he allegedly tried to meddle with the investigations. There are 15 cartridges which he removed from the crime scene.
Right.
And they were found in his Mercedes-Benz in Bramley. And because they were meddled with, they could not compare or do their investigations and analysis quickly. They were tampered with, and so the credibility of those cartridges were in question. Today, the ballistic analysts also spoke about how another, I just forgot his name is Itumeleng, I forgot his surname.
Right.
Another analyst mishandled some of the evidence, and instead of giving a report, he in some way tempered with the ballistics report, which investigated the murder of Armand Swart and firearms that were linked to Armand Swart. And what we heard is that there were many other cases, criminal cases, that could have been linked to those firearms, but because the credibility was under question, the evidence was tempered with, they could only link them to a few cases, which includes that of the DJ Sambodi, DJ Vintos, Don Tingleni. They did also mention, though, today that there are 5 other cases that have been linked to those very same firearms, but could not necessarily divulge the details of who exactly was murdered or who was on the hit list. But what we did see is that they were registered in Pretoria, Littleton Police Station, Pretoria West Police Station. So unlike the high-profile cases which are in Joburg, these 5 cases which they couldn't give us details on are in Pretoria. It's currently unclear who it involves, if it's also high-profile cases or just ordinary people who were targeted.
It's extraordinary stuff, and it's hair-raising too to just see how simple it is. Gather up the cartridges, make sure that you're the person on the crime scene, tamper with the evidence, and crimes remain unsolved. Maybe, by the way, if you have been a detective, are a detective, maybe you're involved in a matter, perhaps you lost a loved one or someone close to you in a murder, and you're waiting for progress in the case, and ballistics is holding it up. You may have a story to share. We'd like to hear it. 072 702 1702.
Turning 18 means we're used to taking on any challenge, like a boersoekevrou, and realizing that the only bakkies that matter played for the Springboks. We've been there, providing Mzansi with a bakkie that gives more performance and endurance. Celebrate 18 years of more with the P300 LS from only 5,999 per month. Visit gwm.co.za for T's and C's and to book a test drive. GWM. Go with more. Brought to you by GWM Finance, a division of Westbank, an authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for general practitioners, dentists, surgeons, and other medical specialists. Kuveni.
It's so nice to know the business risk is taken care of by Business Outsurance. The call center is just a dream to deal with. Very seamless, easy experience, and it just feels like the people we're talking to on the other line understand our needs.
Switch to Business Outsurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Wine Speak, you've heard it all before. Black currants, plums, notes of vanilla. This year, Standard Bank WineX presents a voyage of discovery. Map your own route and let wine enrich the journey. WineX is brought to you by Standard Bank Private. It's the South African wine industry under one roof. So live a wealthier life with Standard Bank Private and WineX at Sandton Convention Centre, 29 to 31 October from 5 to 9 p.m. Tickets at Web Tickets. Enjoy responsibly. 18 and over. Visit winex.co.za. Right, let's get the very latest from the world of sports. Tolakele Nganga. No?
Still eyewitness news, John.
Aha, okay, I'm jumping. I'm in another time zone.
I can tell.
Bali Dlamini. Sports in a moment in Bali now. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Good afternoon. Members of the Police and Prison Civil Rights Union are staging a sit-in at the Bavian Sport Correctional Centre in Pretoria following claims of its members being victimised. The sit-in comes after the union's chairperson, Mongezi Makhanya, was served with a suspension letter on Sunday. This was for allegedly inciting pop crew members to not adhere to new shift patterns, a claim which he has denied. The union says his suspension is unlawful and says it has opened the pathway for the abuse of other members. Pop Crew spokesperson Richard Mambolo says the members who are staging the sit-in are also being threatened with arrest.
Pop Crew condemns this abuse of authority in the strongest terms, and we demand the immediate release of all arrested members, and end to the intimidation and retaliation against workers, the reinstatement of our democratically elected chairperson, the withdrawal of all the shift changes pending proper dispute resolution processes.
In the courts now, where we shift to a story which contains some disturbing details. Self-confessed murderer Amberly Hughes will have to wait until next year to learn her fate. The Johannesburg High Court has postponed sentencing proceedings in her matter to allow for the defence to present more evidence in mitigation of sentence. In August, Hughes was found guilty of the rape and murder of her boyfriend's 4-year-old child, Nada Jane Chalita. Nada Jane was found floating in the bathtub of the home that she shared with her father and Hughes in 2023. During proceedings today, prosecutors started cross-examining one of the defence's witnesses, but Hughes's lawyer, Marius Bauer, requested a postponement to February next year. Judge Richard Makabela.
The defense requested the acting judge president to afford them more days in order to complete the evidence.
Staying in the courts but moving to the Western Cape now, where the kidnapping case against alleged baby snatcher Samima Jacobs was delayed again today after her lawyer was granted a postponement. Jacobs allegedly abducted 9-day-old Imad Sharma from his mother in July at Midstart Mall in Bellville while pretending she was a volunteer for an NPO. Police returned the baby to its mother 2 days later, and in June of this year. Carlo Peterson has more.
Kidnapping accused Samima Jacobs' legal aid lawyer today told the court she was not ready to proceed with a hearing to amend her client's bail conditions. Jacobs was granted bail with strict conditions to stay out of Mitchell's Plain, where baby Imad and his mother Iman Shamar reside. 3 weeks ago, Jacobs made a request for the court to amend her bail conditions for her to visit Mitchell's Plain to fetch her belongings. However, since then, she has had 3 different legal aid lawyers and the application is yet to be made.
The client gave me this document, Your Worship, and before I can proceed with the application, I would like to peruse this document, Your Worship.
Magistrate Kobani Ndaleni granted Jacobs' lawyer until next Thursday to submit the application. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News, Paarl Magistrates Court.
And in Kenya, 11 people have been killed after the small plane they were travelling in from the country's coast crashed earlier today. The small plane was en route to Kichwa Tembo, an airstrip located in the Masai Mara National Park. Mombasa Air Safari has confirmed there were 10 passengers on board, 8 Hungarians, 2 Germans and a Kenyan captain. In August, the light aircraft belonging to the medical NGO Amref crashed on the outskirts of the capital Nairobi, killing 6 and injuring 2 other people. An investigation is now underway into the cause of the latest crash. It's a partly cloudy afternoon in Gauteng today with isolated showers and thundershowers expected. Temperatures have peaked at highs of between 26 and 28 degrees. The top story in EWN, members of the Police and Prison Civil Rights Union are staging a sit-in at the Bavian Sport Correctional Centre in Pretoria following claims of its members being victimised.
Bongani Bingwa, 702 Breakfast.
Weekday mornings, 6 to 9.
When you discover that your grade 1 child has been bullied to the extent that they're now experiencing hearing difficulties. One mother discovered only after a medical visit that pencil shavings had been forced into her daughter's ears by a classmate.
And I did say to the doctor, is it something that you can medically confirm? And he said yes.
And he did?
Gave us a written report, which the school has got on record.
The school in question is St. Stithians College.
Bongani Bingwa, 6 to 9.
On 702.
Don't just hear the roar, feel it live. DP World Lions are unleashing their legacy of champions in the explosive T20 Challenge. The pride of Jozi, the Lions, are ready to pounce on Boland in their season opener at the DP World Wanderers Stadium, Sunday 2 November at 2 p.m. Feel the thrill of smashing sixes, stunning catches and nail-biting finishes. Get your tickets today at Ticket Pro or visit the DP World Lions website. Don't miss the action. Be part of the legacy.
Ask yourself, what matters most? Is it being there for their first steps and still around for their first dance? Knowing you're not just covered, but cared for. Bonitas goes beyond benefits and claims. We're in your corner for what matters most. Bonitas, medical aid for South Africa. Voted #1 medical aid in the Ask Africa Orange Index Awards for the 2nd year running. Visit bonitas.co.za and find your plan.
You might not always notice us, but your safety is our priority. From the moment you step out of your home, drop your child at school or arrive at work, when you trust someone to cut a new set of keys or attend a packed stadium event. From VIP protection to safeguarding goods and property, your security matters to us. Choose wisely. Choose right. Only use CIRA accredited security service providers. CIRA, safer homes, safer businesses, safer communities.
702. WhatsApp John
on 072
702
1702.
Hi John, Tutugo here from Carsons. Yeah, the character that I don't like. I'm sure this will reveal my age. Back in the days, generations. It was a character played by Pamela Nomvet. Her name was Ntsiki. Yeah, no, I know she acts somewhere else, and I still, every time I look at her, I still think about that character, Ntsiki character. I really dislike her. I was still very young then. Probably was not even allowed to watch Generations, but yeah, I just did not like her at all.
Good afternoon, Uncle John. And the team, hey, Kabazela. Yeah, no. I think with Game of Thrones, you would definitely be tempted to hate a lot of characters. Speaking about Ramsey, definitely one up there. King Joffrey, definitely one up there. And also Joffrey's mom, I think it was also one of those that you'd love to hate. But with me, one character that I really hated, and it just amplifies how good he was in his character, is Littlefinger from the Game of Thrones. Yeah, no, I hated it, but he was good, and it deserved my hate. Thanks, Polana from the Val.
Yeah, it's interesting. All these characters, and I'd be really keen to know. I mean, perhaps some of you are out there are actors and you've played characters that have been very, very unpopular and obviously intentionally so. I mean, you are cast as the villain. First of all, I mean, did it make it difficult for you to get parts playing other kinds of roles? And secondly, did you ever find yourself encountering members of the public who took you rather literally as you, the actor, actually being the person you portrayed and wanting to engage with you on your behavior? I've heard stories of that, but I can always hear a few more, and I'd love to hear yours. So do call us on 011 883 0702 if you're involved in the movies or the series, TV series business. How do you deal with that? I would have thought it could get a little awkward from time to time. Moni says, Stefano Di Mera, because he always rose from the dead. I have to admit, I had to Google who Stefano Di Mera was, a character from Days of Our Lives, some kind of mobster who earned the hatred of Moni. Please call us on 011 883 0702 TV series characters that you loved to hate, and how did you express it? 19 minutes to 4.
EWN Sport.
Well, after an excellent test series, one test match too short, but I've already told you of that view that I hold. South Africa and Pakistan playing T20 now. What's the news from the coach? Here's Tolakele.
Thanks so much, John. And the Proteas will be without David Miller, Gerald Gadzia and Kwena Mapaga for those games as they're all injured, while Shukri Conrad has rested Aiden Markram, Tristan Stubbs and Ryan Rickleton.
It's a different group of players entirely. We've only really kept Brevis, Tony and Boshi behind, I think it is. Yeah, great opportunity. Really chuffed and thrilled that we've got some fresh faces, some fresh energies, not to suggest that the energies were flagging in the previous group. Huge excitement in the group about this T20 series. And obviously on everybody's lips is Quinton de Kock. He's a breath of fresh air on his own without picking up a bat. So, thrilled to have Quinny around as well.
Tomorrow, South Africa's women will be out for revenge when they play England in the semi-finals of the World Cup. Having started their campaign with a 10-wicket loss, Sune Luce has discussed their attempts to reach a first-ever 50-over final.
No, not at all. I think, those semi-finals happened a very long time ago. It's just another semi-final for us, no matter who we're playing. I think, we're just focused on getting through the semi-final, playing good cricket, hopefully our best game yet, so that we can get momentum into that final. I think it's one step at a time, one game at a time. No matter who we're playing, I think we just want to hit our straps and play very good cricket. And whoever the opposition is, we take it as it comes.
Banyana will look to qualify for the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations when they host DR Congo in the second leg of second-round qualifying. The game is poised finally at 1-1 following last week's draw, while Desiree Ellis will once again miss the clash as she finalizes her contract with SAFA. Interim coach Tinasoke Mbuli says despite her physical absence, Ellis is in constant communication with the group.
She came to see us before we went to the airport on Sunday. She has been in contact with us. I just got a text from her now this morning just to say she's still with us, and we discussed training, we discussed everything. She's still very much part of this group. Even those who were not with us on Sunday, like the players from overseas, she gave them a call. So she's still very much important part of this team.
And Brendan Rodgers' resignation as Celtic manager has prompted an angry response from the club's main shareholder, who's called him divisive, self-serving, and accused him of creating a toxic atmosphere. His exit was confirmed last night following a disappointing start to their Scottish Premiership campaign. They trail leaders' Hearts by 8 points after 9 games. Former boss Martin O'Neill, along with ex-captain Sean Maloney, will now take over on an interim basis. Tola Gilimganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
Right, 702 Drive. Let's find out what's happening out on the roads. Eyewitness News Traffic with Plumlink, your local plumbing store. Visit plumlink.co.za to find your nearest store. So, Khomotso, we've got some problems out in Boysens. What's going on?
Yes, so in the south of Johannesburg in Boysens, there has been an accident in the M1 South. This is just before Boysens Road. It is causing delays from the Crown interchange, so you can expect about a 15-minute delay. Staying within the M1, there's also roadworks on the M1 North. This is causing delays just between Marlborough Drive and Woodmead Drive. In Fourways, there's also slow-moving traffic that is on Winnie Mandela Drive. This is between Witkoppen and Leslie Road due to an earlier accident. Traffic lights are out in Rand Park Ridge. This is at the N1 and the Bearsnodia Drive. Pointsmen are on duty there. There are also traffic lights that are out in Edenvale at Moragfontein Road and Van Riebeek Road, and also in Sandown at Cambridge Road and Witkoppen Road. But pointsmen are on duty, so don't you worry. If we're looking in Tshwane now, traffic lights are also out in the capital, in Centurion at the N1 and the Old Joburg Road, in Littleton at the N14 and Jean Avenue, but pointsmen are on duty there. To report any traffic problems, please send us a tweet. We are on an X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. If it's plumbing, you'll find it at Plumlink, South Africa's largest plumbing retailer. From pipes, fittings, geysers, and baths to basins, taps, tools, and accessories, we've got it all. With more than 10,000 quality products and over 150 stores nationwide, there's always a Plumlink near you, ready to help with expert advice and unbeatable value. Find your nearest branch today at plumlink.coza. Now open at 67 Voortrekker Road, Oudtshoorn.
Plumlink, your local plumbing store.
You're with John Perlman on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
702 Drive. Earlier in the show, I just mentioned that I've been watching a particular TV series, The Pit, and there are a couple of characters in that who make me absolutely furious. And I'm overreacting, there's no doubt about that. But I have discovered at the very least I'm not alone in having TV characters that make me not only mad, but actually get me verbalizing in language I wouldn't use on radio about them and the way they behave. It's silly. It's absolutely ridiculous because this is fiction. But I guess you could say if you're a movie maker or someone who makes a TV series, well, you're delighted because you are trying to draw us into a world that feels real. So perhaps that's just a mark of good storytelling and good movie making. Tolakele, have you gone down that road? I mean, calm Tolakele, are you off the couch, waving your arms, shouting?
It's not so much waving, but whenever they're on the screen, I just roll my eyes because I'm just like, I guess I have to get through this scene to get through the rest of the show.
That's very mild.
So I like a lot of cop shows and a lot of medical shows.
Okay.
Grey's Anatomy. Eventually, I had to get to the point where I cut myself off because Meredith Grey gets on my nerves. It cannot be that everybody that she knows dies and she's the one that continues to survive. When Christina Young left the show, I was just like, ugh, I can't do this anymore. And she always, for some reason, the writers always write her as the person who is the person who's morally correct, is the only one that has the right perspective on anything. And I was just like, I can't do that sort of character. I need them to be like a little bit normal like everybody else. And then I also love watching Chicago Med. And a character I cannot stand there is Will Halstead. He's a doctor. The funny thing is he has a brother on Chicago PD who's a cop, who I love on that show. But Will annoys me on Chicago Med.
Tolakela, I think we have to agree that rolling your eyes is pretty mild. Do you hate them or do they just annoy you?
They hate them, annoy me. I don't care about their storyline. I don't care what's happening in their lives. I'm like, let's keep the show moving on without them. They're not necessary in the plot.
What would happen if you met one of them at an airport? What would you say? Selfie or
no,
you just roll your eyes?
I'd be, those people be like, you're not missing Meredith Grey at the airport. I'd be one of those people. Wouldn't ask for a picture. Wouldn't do any of those things. I'd just be like, and then what are you doing here?
I've only run into a TV star once in certainly of international series. The series was called Homeland and they were shooting in Cape Town. It was a brilliant series.
Is it the one with Priyanka Chopra?
No. That's a different one. Homeland. I remember the name of the character. He was absolutely brilliant, and he was looking around. He was waiting for someone, and they hadn't come through. And I said, I just did the thing of saying, "Love your work," kind of thing. Tried to be a little less cliched, but yeah, no eye rolling. Unfortunately, I didn't hate him. I admired him terrifically, but I can't remember his name. So deeply did I admire him. It is 11 minutes to 4 on 702 Drive. Please keep your stories coming about 011 883 0702. Kai says, why not ask us about radio characters? I'm a bit nervous because, radio characters, not presenters. Okay, we'll do that one day, I promise. Ronnie goes way back, and this is into the 70s. He says, I remember from long ago, I couldn't stand Falconetti in Rich Man, Poor Man. He was some kind of evil guy on a ship, if I recall. Gave Nick Nolte a hard time. Keep those coming, as I said. You know where to get us. It's coming up for 10 minutes to 4.
Drive home with John Perlman
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
So as I promised earlier, time now for something new on 702 Drive. We're going to be doing this for a couple of weeks, and I'm really looking forward to it. China Unlocked is brought to you by Standard Bank Business and Commercial. Unlock China for your business. Find partners, cut costs, and grow. For African SMEs, accessing China is about scale and sustainability. Bilateral trade between China and Africa reached an estimated $295.6 billion in 2024. And crucially, China recently announced zero tariff access for all African countries, offering a runway for African businesses to diversify markets, mitigate risk, and build strong buyer relationships. Joining us to tell us more about the importance of the China-Africa relationship is the Standard Bank Business and Commercial Banking Head for Africa, China Banking. We say welcome to Stembile Dlamini. Very good afternoon, and thanks so much for giving us your time. Standard Bank has been involved in building bridges, commercial bridges and economic ones between Africa and China for a long time now, 17 years. With that long timeline, Stembile, how would you characterize the current state of Africa-China trade? How well are we doing?
Hi, good afternoon, John, and good afternoon to your listeners, and thank you for having me on your show. I think undoubtedly the China-Africa trade relationship has evolved significantly over the past 2 decades actually. It was largely driven by China's demand for Africa's raw materials. But today we're seeing more balanced, dynamic, and diversification. One looking primarily at agriculture, if you're referring to exports. At Standard Bank, we view this as a maturing partnership. African businesses are not only exporting commodities, but also manufactured products, processed goods, and value-added goods. Chinese companies are equally looking to Africa for investment opportunities, supply chain diversification, and also new markets. And I think this creates immense potential for growth. And our role with as Standard Bank, together with our partner, the Industrial Commercial Bank of China, ICBC, we actually look at how do we then help our clients access these opportunities, as well as look at investment flows, transparent and accessible opportunities for more businesses.
So many people, and I'm probably one of them, instinctively would think, well, you can't out-manufacture China because they just do so much of it. They do it on scale, they do it globally, and so on. But if I've heard you right, Stembile, you're saying actually there are gaps in the Chinese production chain or whatever, where it's not just raw materials and commodities. Is this in particular sectors, or is it rather opportunity gained as because of a particular kind of excellence and innovation?
I think China's been very specific, John, in terms of the relationship that they have with Africa. If you look at the FOCAC agreement, and if you look at how they have looked at it from a shared future perspective, charting a way for cooperation. And this is amplified through the Beijing Action Plan. And if you look at the key focus areas that they're focusing on, namely state governance, industrialization, agricultural modernization, peace and security, as well as some of the infrastructure projects that they are doing through the Belt and Road Initiative. I think overall it's really them trying to create then that win-win situation where it is a shared future and prosperity is for all in terms of the African countries as well as China.
So, I mean, one of the things you've developed at Standard Bank is something called the Africa-China Trade Solutions, ACTS. What particular problems does that address, and how does it address it? I would have thought getting your foothold in a foreign market is generally complicated. I don't know if China's more complicated than most.
Yes, so China is very dynamic and it's a massive market, as you can imagine. There's about 1.4 billion people, 23 provinces that you would be navigating as an exporter. So the Africa-China Trade Solutions, or what we refer to as the ACT solutions, are designed to simplify and accelerate trade between Africa and China. It's a combination of financial solutions, trade facilitation, market access support, all under one umbrella. And we're really focusing on helping exporters to connect with reliable Chinese buyers. We help them in terms of sourcing, if they are sourcing as importers, competitively priced and high quality goods from China. And we provide them the end-to-end support from trade finance, currency settlement in both rands and renminbi, and then look at the logistics support as well as then what is quite top of mind of anybody that is either importing or exporting from China is the risk mitigation aspect of it.
How have changes, Stembile, been shaped or shifted by some of the turbulence in the global tariff regime? Firstly, obviously, we don't need to go into the causes of that, but secondly, a much more kind of uncertain global economy at the moment. Are people saying, okay, opportunities are opening up here, or does the relative continuation of uncertainty, or the continuation of relative uncertainty, shall I say, continue to make people think, let's maybe wait and see?
Yeah, I think it's really brought on market diversification. If you're a business and you're exporting, there's a lot of reliance on markets such as the US, Europe, but you're seeing more and more companies that are looking at China for their exports. And with this free tariff announcement that China did in June for South Africa, for 53 countries in Africa, that creates equal market access opportunities for African businesses. And I think it's a bit different, unlike the reciprocal free trade models, which have now, through the complex negotiations that we are seeing, this is really just opening up the market for African products into China and trying to create that win-win situation.
Thank you so much. Fascinating stuff. In the beginning, as I said, of a new series we're doing called China Unlocked. You were hearing the thoughts there of Stembile Dlamini. She's with Standard Bank Business and Commercial Banking. She is the head of Africa China Banking at Standard Bank Business and Commercial Banking. I'm very keen to hear from you, by the way. Have you done business with China over a number of years? Is it something you're looking into, whether it's importing Chinese goods or doing something in South Africa that you believe Chinese entrepreneurs or others might be interested in buying from you? It's a fascinating area of commerce and trade. And if you've got a story to share, we would definitely love to hear about it. Unlock China's potential for your business right now. With zero tariffs on South African exports and a world-class supply chain, China is open for growth. For over a decade, Standard Bank has helped entrepreneurs connect with trusted partners, manage risk, and deliver results end to end. Don't miss out. Speak to Standard Bank Business and Commercial Banking and unlock your next big opportunity today. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays,
12 to 1.
Does the ANC believe that this is still a policy that works when it comes to empowerment?
We are not going to be party to a race-based anti-redress, anti-transformation tirade. of the Democratic Alliance. For them, they are affirming that the future is white and the future is male, because BBBE fights on both fronts, both in terms of gender as well as in terms of race.
Mahlengi Bengu is the ANC spokesperson.
Midday Report
With Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
James, congrats on the babies.
Yeah, thanks. It's a wild ride.
You're a new dad, 2 babies, 0 sleep, and 1 car that apparently couldn't cope.
Yeah, the hatchback was my baby, but it just didn't have enough space for my 2 new babies.
And are you happy with the price when you sold to We Buy Cars?
Very. We've even got some extra cash to splurge on one of those fancy prams that you basically need a license for.
Good luck, James. We Buy Cars. Geared for family, geared for you.
Introducing South Africa's most affordable way to get hearing aids. At Specsavers Audiology, you can now get a pair of hearing aids from as little as 599 Rand per month. Hearing clearly shouldn't be a luxury. Enjoy life's moments from 599 Rand per month. Test your hearing today and join the conversation with Specsavers Audiology. T's and C's apply.
Some communities in South Africa still don't have access to the internet, but that's about to change. Telkom recently sold over 4,000 SwiftNet towers to an Actis-led consortium that plans to expand its network right across South Africa. The transformational 6.75 billion rand deal, facilitated by Standard Bank CIB, is a win-win for all, and many rural and unserved communities will experience internet access for the very first time. Watch the full story. Search CIB Stories of Impact. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
You're with John Perlman
on 702. This is EWN.
Matale says political killings task team was Ramaphosa's project, and a Mamelodi family left reeling following the murder of their daughters. Good afternoon, I'm Bali Dlamini. Deputy Police Minister Castle Matale says the political killings task team was President Cyril Ramaphosa's project because he is the one who established it. Matale also says he was surprised to learn on social media of Minister Senzo Mchunu directive to disband the task team last December. He says he's unsure if Mchunu informed Ramaphosa about his decision to disband the task team, which he says was doing excellent work. Matale has been giving evidence in Parliament before the ad hoc committee, which is investigating allegations of police corruption. The allegations were made by KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. He says Mkhwanazi was central to the team's operations by virtue of being the provincial police commissioner.
It happens to be in KZN, but I can say it's the president's project because the president initiated a process that led to the formation of this team. And obviously the team is established in a province. And in a province we have got a provincial commissioner.
At the same time, a ballistics expert has told the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry that another firearm seized from suspects in the murder of Vereniging engineer Armand Swart is linked to 5 other criminal cases. Senior forensic analyst at the South African Police Service, Captain Malden Mkhatshwa, made the revelation during his testimony today. Although he confirmed that the firearm is connected to 5 other dockets, he could not publicly disclose the related cases. Another firearm recovered from the same suspects has been linked to several high-profile murders, including that of Oupa Sefuka, popularly known as DJ Sambodi. Captain Mkhatshwa told the Commission today that it took him just 1 day to link the firearm in question to the additional murder cases.
It's linked with 5 case dockets. It's linking firstly with case 2, and it's linking with Littleton, case 157 of 8/2022, and it's linking with Pretoria West, and it's linking with case 5, and also it's linking with case 6.
To this now, the family of 2 women shot and killed in Mamelodi at the weekend says they are deeply hurt by the slander and criticism they have experienced following the ordeal. 21-year-old Baliseng and 22-year-old Siamo Moramaga was shot in the early hours of Sunday morning after a night out. A 38-year-old suspect has since been arrested in connection with the murder of the cousins. Khomotso Modise has more.
When cousins Baleseng and Siamo Moramaga were shot allegedly by a man that one of them was romantically involved with, they'd just come from a local establishment just streets away from their home. Since their passing, some on social media have criticized them for being out until the early hours of the morning. Their aunt Maki Moramaga says the comments made have been deeply hurtful.
It's a lie that my girls were with men for money. How would they do that? Men will kill you these days for their money. Tiamo was a beautician who offered makeup and hair services for a living, and Baliseng was a third-year student. It's not true.
As community members continue to arrive to offer their condolences, the family is preparing to travel to Lukau village in Limpopo, where the young women will be laid to rest on Saturday. Khomotso Modise, Eyewitness News in Mamelodi.
In the courts now, we shift to a story which contains some disturbing details. The mother of murdered 4-year-old Nada Jane Chalita says she will never forgive Amber Lee Hughes for what she did to her child. In January 2023, Chalita was raped and killed while left in the care of Hughes, who was her father's girlfriend at the time. In August, the Johannesburg High Court found Hughes guilty of premeditated murder. Today, sentencing proceedings were postponed to next year in the Johannesburg High Court. The child's mother, Amy Johnson, spoke to the media outside the court, saying she wants Hughes to know that her child was loved.
Nada had a mother that really tried her best to get better mentally in order to look after her. And making that sacrifice of leaving her in order to get better, thinking that you're going to come back and raise your child.
She says as a family, they were under the impression that Hughes was trustworthy.
She was apparently an assistant, so, like you still trust a teacher at the end of the day. Like you entrust your children with them to look after them when you can't look after them. So it's very hard to not think, oh, this person's going to go and destroy my child.
And Elon Musk's company XAI has launched Grokpedia, to compete with Wikipedia, which he has accused of ideological bias. The site had more than 885,000 articles by last night compared to Wikipedia's more than 7 million in English. The launch came with the promise of a newer version, which Musk says will be 10 times better than the current live site. Grokpedia release has been marked down for the end of September, but it was delayed by the US entrepreneur to purge out the propaganda, as he said. Musk has been a regular critic of Wikipedia. In 2024, he accused the site of being controlled by far-left activists. Gold is trading at $3,903.62 an ounce. The rand is at 17.25 to the dollar, 22.95 to the pound, 20.10 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $65.62 a barrel.
In the traffic in Parktown, traffic is slowing down on Empire Road between Jan Smuts Avenue and Yale Road. Heading towards Greenside, roadworks are slowing down traffic on Moragfontein Road. This is approaching the N3 turn-off.
In your sport, Proteas women out for revenge as they take on England in World Cup semi-final. Wounded Orlando Pirates up against Magesi in Carling knockout quarterfinals. And Manny Pacquiao joins former Olympic boxing body.
A cloudy Wednesday in store for Gauteng tomorrow with afternoon thundershowers expected. Joburg dropping to overnight lows of 14 degrees, peaking at 24. Pretoria 16 and 25 and Vereeniging 13 and 24 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, Deputy Police Minister Kassel Matale says the Political Killings Task Team was President Cyril Ramaphosa's project because he is the one that established it.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702.
Drive home with John Perlman
John Perlman, 3 to 6 p.m.
on 92.7 and 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
702 Drive, it's 9 minutes past 4. It's great to have you with us on the show. Coming up over the next couple of hours, we're going to be talking to Babalo Ndenze, who is our EWN parliamentary reporter. We've heard about what's been going on at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, some quite startling revelations about what appears to be significant interference in investigations in the course of ballistic examination, which ought to be absolutely key in bringing matters to court and investigating matters and getting them ready for court. The other part, of course, of the probes that have followed the allegations made by Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi is the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee looking into the South African Police Service. Babalo Ndenze is listening in closely as Deputy Police Minister Castle Matale is sharing his views. Some of it you've heard about already in that bulletin from Mbali Dlamini, who, by the way, is back with us with headlines at 4:30. Babalo joining us at about 5:10. Also after 5 o'clock, Standard Bank Winex, a big expo of the many brilliant wines that get produced down in the Western Cape. Winex, a wonderful opportunity to go and enjoy wine, but also a wonderful window and an opportunity to get a sense of how the industry is doing in very turbulent times, given what's been happening in terms of global tariffs and barriers. Michael Fridjon, Winex founder, is our guest at 20 minutes past 5. One of the big stories that's been in the news here and, of course, all around the world is this massive hurricane which is currently threatening the island and country of Jamaica. It sounds like those people are in for an incredibly torrid time, and we certainly wish them and any other countries in the pathway of the hurricane well. But I'm just wondering, have you ever been somewhere where there's been something like a hurricane or a typhoon or a cyclone, perhaps a tsunami or an earthquake? I cannot imagine what it must be like, particularly if you are on an island and unable to move in any direction to secure yourself a higher degree of safety. It's not an experience I've had, but if you have had an experience like that, please drop us a note and just tell us what that was like. 072 702 1702. That's the number some of you have been using to answer a question I asked earlier. Are there any characters in TV series that you absolutely hate? And if there are, tell us who they are, and crucially, tell us why they stir up such strong feelings. This is what a couple of you had to say.
John, definitely not anybody that I got upset with on television, but when we used to watch Frasier, Dr. Frasier Crane got me so embarrassed that I had to leave the room quite often. So yeah, quite embarrassed by some of the things he got up to.
Yo, 702. One character I hate, Skylar White. What she did, what she ended up doing in the season, I'm not going to spoil it, but she made me hate her. Because there was a good thing going on, and then she had to just ruin it, you know? Yeah.
Good afternoon, and Tate John. So my late grandmother used to hate Brooke Logan from The Bold and the Beautiful. She absolutely was convinced that Brooke was a homewrecker, and she just wanted to bump into her on the street somewhere just to beat her up. So yeah, that was my grandmother and her negative feelings towards a TV personality of character.
Good afternoon, Uncle John and the team. Talking about characters that we love to hate, I know of a character that everybody just hates, and that is in the Harry Potter franchise, Professor Umbridge. I think right throughout all of the fandom, everybody and anybody would say that Professor Umbridge is just one of those terrible characters that everybody hates. With her girlish giggle and her pink bow and kitten plates in her office, I think one of the characters that everybody just always hates is Professor Umbridge. Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of hatred out there, including Wayne, who says the grandson of the Helen Mirren character in Mobland, which I've watched actually and thought was pretty good. I hated him as much. The grandson, by the way, is called Eddie Harrigan, And yeah, he's hateful. No doubt about that. But Wayne concludes, I hated him as much as I hated Joffrey in Game of Thrones. TV characters you hate. And if you know why, tell us why. I'd be interested in that. Not just why you hate them, but why it stirs up those feelings in you. I know that my sense of fury at watching the hospital drama, The Pit, was my discomfort at the scenes of hospitals and what was going on there. So kind of layered for me, not just the characters. But your story, please. You know where to get us. It's 14 minutes past 4.
EWN Traffic.
We'll start in Tshwane at this hour.
Eyewitness News Traffic with Plumlink, your local plumbing store. Visit plumlink.co.za to find your nearest store. Keen to tell us what's going on. Here you go.
I'm probably the radio character that people are already coming for. We'll start in Tshwane this afternoon. There has been an accident on the N1 South just before Rigel Avenue, slowing down traffic from Linwood Road. So if you could please just drive carefully there. Traffic lights are also out in the capital in Centurion. This is at the N1 and Old Joburg Road. In Littleton at the N14 and Jean Avenue, and also in Olivenhout-Bosch at the R55 and Thatchfield. But pointsmen are on duty. In Parktown, traffic is slowing down. This is on Empire Road between Jan Smuts Avenue and Yale Road. Traffic is also backed up on the N1 South between the Betlu Interchange and Winnie Mandela Drive. Here you can expect a 30-minute hold up, so patience would be your friend at this moment. And then heading towards Greenside, roadworks are slowing down traffic. This is on Borgfontein Road, approaching the N3 turn-off. To report any traffic problems, please send us a tweet. We are on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
If it's plumbing, you'll find it at Plumlink, South Africa's largest plumbing retailer. From pipes, fittings, geysers, and baths to basins, taps, tools, and accessories, we've got it all. With more than 10,000 quality products at the right price and over 150 stores nationwide, there's always a Plumlink near you, ready to help with expert advice and unbeatable value. Find your nearest branch today at plumlink.coza.
Plumlink, your local plumbing store. In the last 24 hours, this is what's happened in your world.
Parliament's Higher Education Committee Chairperson Tebogo Letsie says while he does not condone students using their financial aid money to gamble, the inconsistent payments from the National Student Financial Aid Scheme is backing students into a corner. A recent Daily Maverick investigation revealed that students are among the growing online gambling population in the country, many using their allowances in efforts to just make ends meet. At a briefing at Parliament yesterday, Letsie said that while he sympathized with the plight of many students, online gambling is not the answer.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch Corporates That Care this Wednesday at 10 to 9, featuring Kellanova. Their General Manager and Executive Director, Philip Niemann, will be in conversation with Bongani Bingwa. And join us every Wednesday as we highlight the efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk and make a difference together.
Lock into roaring rugby action this season with Hollywood Bets. Bet 50 Rand or more on any Vodacom United Rugby Championship fixture and you could win a share of 300,000 Rand in cash, betting vouchers or prizes. This includes Smeg bar fridges, macro vouchers, a Sharks captain run or a player's circle experience. Only the toughest team will prevail. Bet now and let the rugby rumble begin. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
Naked people are totally zen. Because naked people spend less time on insurance admin and more time meditating and balancing their chakras. With Naked, you can cover your car, home, and stuff in seconds, and it's all online, so that means no long phone calls. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and start meditating like naked people. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. get naked.
You're with John Perlman on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
So a huge day for South African cricket tomorrow. The Proteas women's team are up against England, a team that beat them convincingly in the first match, our first match of the tournament. They're up against them in the town of Guwahati in India, facing up against England in the semi-final, and a real mountain to climb, but this is something that the team has done before. So, what's the mood like in the camp? Let's welcome to 702 Drive, Dumi Sekukuni, fast bowler, who's part of the Proteas squad. Dumi, a very good afternoon to you. I suppose now it's the long wait for tomorrow because you've done all the work. The practices have been held. How difficult is it 24 hours or so before you're playing a big match like this? How do you guys deal with the wait and the tension?
Good afternoon, John. I think, everyone is super excited the day before the game. I think you just try as much as possible to, stay hydrated, to do all the right things, to get prepared for the game tomorrow. And yeah, we just, try to maybe play a few games, just to ease up into the next match. Tomorrow. So yeah, I think everyone is just looking forward to it. We're just super excited to be in the semi-finals. So yeah, we're waiting for tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, it's an amazing achievement. Obviously, there would have been conversation, I would assume, in the team about the fact that you're up against a team against whom you had a really poor game in the opening match of the tournament. South Africa, if you didn't follow the game, at 69. England passed that total comfortably after 14 hours. And then after 14 overs, not hours. And then, after that, the team seemed to put that well behind them. Would you say that's the case now, that in the camp, the mood is very much that happened, it was a bad day at the office, and we go again tomorrow?
Yeah, definitely. We don't try to look at the things that we, actually did wrong during the game. We just try to take positives out of every game. And I think, that game, after losing that game, I think everyone went back. We took it very personal, and it kind of, not kind of, but it really did hurt. And I think, the tomorrow's game with England will probably, just maybe try to get back at them for that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very, very interesting thing to look back at the progression, because there was that setback and then a couple of really close games that could have gone either way, with South Africa pulling it out of the fire in the very late overs. But in general, consistent improvement. What have you guys changed that has brought you to the point where not only you in the semi-final, but you qualified for it in the end fairly comfortably?
Yeah, I think, we didn't change a lot. We've always wanted to say, or we've always wanted to, have a high score, to put up on the scoreboard. We've always wanted to bat long, and I think we have a long batting lineup. We're just unfortunate that in the previous games, it just some of the batting didn't go according to plan, which is why we took it very deep to Nadine's knocks there at the end. But I think if we can just get everyone to be playing based of our plans, and doing all that we need to do. I know that we are capable of scoring 300
Yes.
plus. So that's going to be very key for us going forward. But we just take everything a day at a time. So I think tomorrow we just want to execute everything that we've already worked on.
Are you in touch with people at home? I mean, obviously, when the games are on, you must have a sense of friends and family and people who've been involved in your career and it's unfolding, watching the game. Is there anyone you like to call or chat to before a big game? The time difference does sort of lend itself to perhaps a morning call of some kind. But who's your point of contact as you build up?
So I'm big on family, you know. I like to share everything that I do with my family. So I I normally wake up, call my mom or my little sister, and then would have a chat there. Then if my little sister's at school, then I call my cousins, whom they understand the game very much. So they not, just talk about the upcoming game, or if I don't want to talk about it, maybe I'm a bit nervous, then
Yes.
try to shift um, my thinking or my mood to something that's, not about cricket, and yeah, just take it from there. But I normally call my family.
And just finally, I mean, this is very much a team game on the field, but off as well. Who are the players who provide a lot of positive energy? And I would assume, as you would have in any group of people, there's some people who you kind of steer clear of, maybe because they get very much into their own heads and like to keep it quiet. Share with us a little bit, if you're willing, of some of the personalities that come out in big moments like this amongst your teammates.
To be quite honest with you, I have a lot of names in mind, because normally, we're a bunch of, jolly, a bunch, and we very vibey, during like practice sessions, when you hit a good shot, someone will scream from outside, maybe
Yes.
sitting in the dugout there, saying shot to me, so we have a few of those. Anari Dixon is one of them, Miane Smith, Chloe, Nondu, everyone, myself as well. I just try to motivate another person, even if they're doing not doing so well in the net sessions. I then maybe just give them a pat on the back and say, yeah, let's keep going. So we are really fortunate to be that kind of bunch, and this is a special team. So yeah.
Well, that kind of bunch has already done really well to reach the semi-finals. But to me, best of luck, and please pass on the best wishes of 702 listeners to the squad if you get a chance. And we'll be rooting for you tomorrow. Thank you. Tumi Sekukuni joining us on the line from India. South Africa play England in the semi-final of the ICC World Cup for women cricketers. That's tomorrow. England, convincing winners, first time they played, doesn't seem to have shaken the belief of our team at all. Let's see how they do tomorrow. We're hoping very well indeed. 26 minutes past 4.
Let's rewind 6 years, when Twitter was still Twitter, not a letter of the alphabet. TikTok was simply the sound your clock made. And Zoom just meant enlarging a picture. So it makes you wonder, what will the next 6 years bring? Hino trucks now come standard with a 6-year drivetrain warranty, covering everything from pistons to gears. So although a lot can change in 6 years, our warranty promise won't. T's and C's apply. Hino, all the way.
Let's count backward. 5. Insurance. 4. Pineapple. 3. Insurance. 2. Pineapple. 1. You're under.
Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
The Johannesburg Philharmonic Orchestra celebrates its 25th anniversary with its Spring Symphony season, opening with the annual joint performance by the Johannesburg and KZN Philharmonic Orchestras. The season runs from 30 October until 20 November, every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. at the Linda Auditorium. Tickets available on Quicket.
EWN Business.
Right, let's go to the markets. Stephen Critters, a very good afternoon to you. What's been happening?
There we are. Afternoon to you, John. Well, look, so the gold price is lower. That's having an impact, of course, on gold, but resources still doing quite nicely. It's been a very busy corporate day as well, I must just say, and the rand also looking a little stronger. All of that helping to push the JSE Ore share up by 1.15% at 109,956 points. Financials are up 1.64, industrials are up 0.23, and then resources up actually quite strongly, up 2 and 0.25% at the moment. One of the stories of the day is We Buy Cars. They're down 14% on the day, John. They did announce their headline earnings per share to be up by more than 100%. The group says its core headline earnings are up by around 15%. Also warnings, though, that earnings growth decelerated in the second half of the financial year. We'll actually speak to the CEO this evening and just find out how they're feeling about it. I can't believe they thought they would lose 14% of value with that update. But also questions, of course, about what's really going on in the second-hand car market. So they're down 14%. Old Mutual announcing today it's spending 2.2 billion rand to take over 10x investments. They provide retirement and savings products using passive investments. That means that some of the current owners, including Old Mutual Private Equity and DigiGame, will sell their stakes in 10x. 10x Management also keep their stake there as well. And then Bull and Properties confirming their headline earnings per share for the 6 months to the end of August will be up by around 25 cents a share as well on the day. Some of the miners are down. Pick n Pay is down 2% after their earnings that came out yesterday, and Alpha Minerals is down 3.62%. Kumba up 3.78% today. They reported that their total sales are up by 7%. Transnet Railways have improved, John. Little bits of good news around railways in the last little while, and that's one of the reasons. Then MTN up 3.33% on the day. And then the platinum miners, Valterra's up 3.26%, Sibanye up 3%. Even Anglo Gold's up 2.94%. That might just be people getting in on their while they can, while the gold price is slightly lower. In the US, record highs again. Couple of reasons for that. Obviously, Trump is in Japan. He's moving to South Korea, and he'll meet Xi Jinping on Thursday. That's a part of it. There's also been strong forecasts from companies like United Health, UPS, and Apple. Apple actually now worth $4 trillion. That's for the first time. There's been strong demand for that phone. What's it called? The one that's a cult? You know the one? The iCult? That phone. There's been strong demand for that. The Dow Jones is up 0.38%. The Nasdaq is up 1/3%. The S&P 500 up 0.04% on the day. Gold down, John, $3,943.36. Platinum, $1,564.10. Brent crude roughly where it was yesterday, $64.77. The rand to the dollar, 17.20 to the euro, 20.04 to the British pound, 22.81. Stephen Crotis, EWN Business.
Thanks, Stephen. Let's find out the very latest eyewitness news now. Mbali Dlamini has got the details. Good afternoon.
Thanks, John. Good afternoon. The Health Department says it will not turn anyone away from seeking treatment at state facilities, including foreign nationals. Deputy Director General Nicholas Crisp has told Parliament's Standing Committee on Appropriations today that the department does not account separately for treating undocumented migrants and therefore cannot answer the committee's question on how much is being spent to treat this category of patient. The questions come in the wake of recent incidents of attempts to block foreign nationals from accessing state hospitals and clinics. Lindsay Dentlinger has more.
Deputy Director General Nicholas Crisp says access to healthcare is guaranteed in the Constitution and no one can be denied. He says it's up to the police to clamp down on attempts to stop foreign nationals from entering state facilities.
Fortunately, we have a very good working relationship with the police, and they react quite quickly when we need help.
Crisp says once the National Health Insurance comes into effect, there will be a better understanding of how many foreign nationals are accessing the system. Currently, around 35 million people are already registered on the Health Department's outpatient registration system.
The system that is designed for NHI collects what's being spent on you. We will then, at that stage, and that's obviously going to be a couple of years from now, we will know what we are spending on whom.
Crisp says the NHI registration system will capture fingerprints and be linked directly to Home Affairs to verify who is being treated. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
The DA says it's maintained a firm stance on race-based policies since the 90s, saying they are not the best measure to address the remnants of apartheid and colonialism. Today, the party unveiled a large billboard along the N1 highway saying the black economic empowerment policy has only enriched ANC elites and left the rest of the country poor. The DA is trying to push its public procurement amendment bill into law, which would effectively repeal BEE. Thabiso Koba has has more.
Data from Statistics South Africa and the Commission for Employment Equity has white people at the top of most key economic metrics. Despite accounting for about 8% of the population in the country, white people own the most private land, occupy 61% of all top management positions in companies, and white households generally have more income than any other race group. The DA's Federal Council chairperson Helen Ziller says race-based policies have not benefited everyone.
We absolutely recognize the terrible legacy of the past, and we absolutely strive for transformation, including land ownership. We are in favor of land ownership for all in South Africa, and our policies speak to that.
Ziller says the focus should shift from race to poverty alleviation for all. Thabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
We shift now to a story which follows some disturbing and graphic details. A 47-year-old man from Tsakane in Ekurhuleni has been sentenced to 4 life terms for raping and impregnating a 13-year-old girl who was battling cancer. The Tsakane Regional Court heard that the sexual assault incidents took place between December 2015 and April 2016 while the minor was visiting her grandmother. It's emerged that the man, who is a family friend and a neighbor, would call the child to his house, rape her, and then threaten to kill her if she told anyone. The man was arrested, but his case was provisionally withdrawn in November 2016 and placed back on the court roll in 2020. The state pushed for life behind bars, arguing that not only did the man take away the child's innocence, he also infected her with HIV. Gauteng NPA spokesperson Lumka Mahanjana.
The court ordered that the sentence should run concurrently and his name be added on the National Register for Sexual Offenders and he be declared unfit to work with children.
And the International Federation of the Red Cross has warned that Hurricane Melissa could affect 1.5 million people in Jamaica. The Category 5 storm is on a slow path through the Caribbean and is expected to make landfall on the Jamaican coast this afternoon. The island's Health and Wellness Ministry has reported 3 storm-related deaths in the lead-up to the hurricane. According to the U.S. National Hurricane Center, Melissa ranks as the world's strongest storm of the year based on its maximum wind speeds and low central pressure. After hitting Jamaica, Melissa is forecast to cross over eastern Cuba this evening. A cloudy Wednesday in store for Gauteng tomorrow with afternoon showers expected. Lows of between 13 and 16 degrees and highs of between 24 and 25.
In the traffic, please note that in Boysens, that accident in the M1 South just before Boysens Road is still causing some slight delays from the Crown interchange. Traffic in Parktown is also slow moving on Empire Road just between Jan Smarts Avenue and Yale Road.
The top story in EWN. The Health Department says it will not turn away anyone from seeking treatment at state facilities, including foreign nationals.
Bongani Bingwa, 702 Breakfast.
Weekday mornings, 6 to 9.
When you discover that your grade 1 child has been bullied to the extent that they're now experiencing hearing difficulties. One mother discovered only after a medical visit that pencil shavings had been forced into her daughter's ears by a classmate.
And I did say to the doctor, is it something that you can medically confirm? And he said yes.
And he did?
Gave us a written report, which the school has got on record.
The school in question is St. Stithians College.
Bongani Bingwa, 6 to 9.
On 702.
Josie is about to bring the heat. The Discovery Vitality Chicken Run, flavoured by Nando's, is happening Saturday, 8 November at 5 p.m. Go 5K or 10K, run, walk, or just soak up that Josie summer air. Not tough enough? Well, if you've ever sprinted for a taxi, dodged potholes, or climbed stairs when the power was out, your training has already begun. So grab your crew, lace up, and move Josie forward. Find the Discovery Vitality Chicken Run on racepass.com to enter. The Discovery Vitality Chicken Run, flavoured by Nando's. It's a run for everyone.
PG Glass Repair, PG Glass Replace.
I'm Delani, PG Glass Technician. Is that a chip? With our advanced tools and high-tech equipment, we can repair it.
World-class repair technology, only at PG Glass. Visit pg.co.za.
702. WhatsApp John
on 072
702
1702.
Hi John. So the one character I hated the most was
the character that PDD portrayed in a Raising in the Sun. And it got so bad that when the allegations against him came up now with the ex-girlfriend and everything else that happened there, I actually hoped that he be found guilty just on the basis of how much I hated him and hated the character that he portrayed. Yeah.
Hi, John. Chris from Sydenham here. With regards to experiencing a natural disaster, myself and an ex-girlfriend of mine, we were in Mauritius, and we were sitting down for lunch, and the next thing she turned to me and said, "Can you see that?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" And she said, "Can you see that out at sea? Look there." And the next moment, this thing, whatever it was, came towards us, and it made a loud noise. And next thing, the roof came off, and tables and chairs were flying around, and it was a cyclone that came in from the sea. So, yeah, very small one, experience nonetheless. Some trees fell, a roof got ripped off, tables and chairs in the restaurant got thrown around, and just absolute chaos. I mean, as small as it was, I remember people just running and ducking and diving and screaming. But I can only imagine what it must feel like to be in a big disaster. I think it can be really, really traumatic.
Yeah, it's a response, by the way, to a question I asked earlier. You heard in Mbali Dlamini's bulletins throughout the afternoon that huge alarm over and trepidation, I think is putting it too mildly, for people in places like Jamaica, the eastern part of Cuba, expected to be affected by Hurricane Melissa. And I'm just wondering if you've ever been caught up in a natural disaster of that scale and order. Thank you for that. Anyone else with a story to share, please do. We continue to take from you people, TV show characters you found yourself hating. Somebody said, why do you have to talk about hate? Well, I think the emotion you feel, I mean, yes, it's not necessarily hate in the true sense because these aren't real people, but the emotion has those characteristics. Certainly in my case, I found myself losing it watching some of these people. Lulama says the late Michelle Boertes as Sherelle de Villiers Haynes on Isidingo is a character that comes to mind. Thank you, Lulama. 19 minutes now to 5 o'clock.
EWN Sport.
So, Kelly, close to cricket time out in Pakistan. That's the men's team. Of course, the women in action tomorrow. You've got those stories and the rest of the sport.
Absolutely, John. And Quinton de Kock will make a return to the Proteas setup this afternoon when they take on Pakistan in the first of 3 T20s. Coach Shukri Conrad has discussed the importance of the games with the World Cup scheduled to take place next year.
We obviously want to invest all our energies into winning a T20 series here. But obviously there might be guys feeling that this presents them with an opportunity to finding a spot on that flight to the T20 World Cup. But we obviously try and steer away from that. But, I mean, there's also that reality, you know, it might be a dress rehearsal. Some it might be a trial for others. They might feel it. We obviously try not to create that sort of a situation.
For the Proteas women, they're in 50-over World Cup semi-final action against England tomorrow. Sune Luce and her teammates will be desperate to secure a statement win, having lost by 10 wickets to Australia in their final round-robin match.
You play 7 round-robin games. You're never going to have a perfect tournament. There's always going to be a few games here or there, or a few moments here or there where it doesn't go your way. And World Cups are 100% about, you know, the bounce-back ability and how quickly you can put a setback behind you. Yeah, I think obviously not our best performance, but, you know, we don't need extra motivation to go into the semi-finals. You know, South Africans are very resilient in our own way, and we know what we're playing for, and everyone's really excited.
Orlando Pirates will look to redeem themselves when they host Magesi in the quarterfinals of the Carling Knockout this evening. Adeslam Adu's side are fresh from being eliminated in the CAF Champions League, while they face a team who sent them packing in the first round of this competition last season.
I'm happy about the progression of these young boys. They showed personality, they showed characters, you know. When they come in the game, they are doing their best. If you take Dansin, if you take Mbutuma, and many others players, I will not mention them all, but they are doing a lot of progress. And I think it's good for the club. It's good news for the club to have such youth for the future. It's very important.
And Manny Pacquiao has become vice president of the International Boxing Association, a body that is currently banned from organizing the sport at the Olympics. He'll work alongside President Kremlev to develop athletes' first programs to expand opportunities. The body was previously known as the Amateur International Boxing Association and ran the sport at the Games, but after repeated warnings over financial, governance and ethical concerns, the IOC severed links with it ahead of the 2021 event. Tola Mganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
At 17 minutes to 5, Eyewitness Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS the word out to 45142. Do it now and you could save on car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Out in Edenvale, a problem on the R24. Khumotso Munyai joins us with the details.
Yes, thank you, John. In Edenvale, there has been an accident on the R24 West. This is just before Edenvale Road, and it is slowing down traffic, so please be a little bit patient. While traffic on the N12 East is gridlocked between Edenvale Road and Croft Road, and also in Boksburg, there are roadworks in the N17 East. This is before Carnival City entrance, and it's causing delays from the R21. Coming towards the M1 South, just before Boyson's Road, that earlier accident is still causing some delays from the Crown interchange, so please also exercise some caution and patience there. In Fourways, there's slow-moving traffic as well on Winnie Mandela Drive. This is between Witkoppen and Leslie Road. It is due to an earlier accident. In Calvin, roadworks are slowing down traffic as well. On the N3 North, this is between Marlborough Drive and Betlu interchange. And moving in Tshwane, there has been an accident on the N1 South. This is before Rigel Avenue. It is slowing down traffic from Linwood Road. If you want to report any traffic problems, please do send us a tweet. We are on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. There's a car with a work commuter. She's done this route 1,000 times. Perhaps she's daydreaming of a different job or just counting down to the weekend. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just another car in traffic. It's anticipation on the move. Every story's different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
You're with John Perlman on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
702 Drive. So we've been talking about TV shows. Now let's go back to a very different kind of storytelling, because we were chatting earlier and Refuwe Letsua was talking about books in her childhood and books that made real difference to her. And I suppose the way the conversation went was something like this. Is there, or has there been, a book or more than one in your life as a young person that really had an impact on you? And the second question I would ask, as generations change and access to entertainment and storytelling obviously shifts, what was available to me at the age of 10 in 1969 would be very different to what is available to a 10-year-old now. But did you try and share those books with younger people in your family? And if so, how did they respond? What did they say? Oh, like this, interesting, or sorry, we don't get this. So, Refuwe, you got us going on books that made a big difference to you. Mention one or two or a couple if you like, and tell us how those books have lived on in your life since then.
Good afternoon, John, and to the rest of the 702 family. So, a book that I can think of was called Harry, but I just forgot who the author was.
Okay.
I don't know how we got a hold of this book, but my little sister, I think she was like 5 or 6 then, she would make me read that book every day, and she wanted me to have different voices and show her the pictures. And basically the book was about being patient. So there was a lady called Mrs. Muggs who was always in a hurry. She was very clumsy, and people would always say if you just took time to chill, you'd be okay. So I think that book for me taught me patience, because she was Susie's babysitter. So it says, hurry, Mrs. Muggs would not stop. So it was just a weird children's book. But for me, it was just a beautiful book on it's okay to just take time and smell the roses.
So it's not Harry, it's Hurry.
Hurry, yes. As in, hurry, stop.
Hurry by Lily Waters. Harry is a dreamer. And
I don't think it's that one. It was one of those books that we found somewhere in the house. And because she was babysitting a little child called Susie.
Yes, no, that's the one.
Is it the one?
I think so.
It's a while ago. So
there we go. Okay. Hurry by. Anyway, that's your book. So I'm wondering, Tolakele, books from your childhood that you either loved or actually influenced you in some kind of way, and have you passed them on?
Books that I definitely loved was the Sweet Valley High series.
Mhm.
So at Dinwiddie Primary, they had a whole media center that had all the books, and you could go there during break and after school. And John, let me tell you, the book that you started on Monday, you would never find it again the rest of the week, because once a book got popular in primary school, everybody wanted to read it. So many of those books I never got to finish, but it was just like a cute moment because all of us were so desperate to read those books. I haven't managed to pass it on because the one cousin that I thought would be interested in reading does not care about books at all. So I have failed her there in trying to have a similar love of reading that I do.
So Sweet Valley High books, yeah?
Yes.
Apparently there are 181 books in total. I wonder if the author Francine Pascal got any sleep. The first one was called Double Love. I don't know if you remember that. Elizabeth really likes Todd. No? Doesn't ring any bells?
No.
Okay. Just love the books. Okay. I wonder how it turned out for Elizabeth and Todd. That was a while ago, 1983. So either it worked or it didn't. How about you, Khomotso? Books as a kid?
Yes, plenty. Oh my goodness. So anything by Roald Dahl, I think that's how you pronounce his name.
Yes,
Roahl. Yeah, Dahl. We read that a lot in primary. So your Charlie's and the Chocolate Factory. I loved Matilda too, simply because I think I resonated so much with the character. I really think Matilda also affirmed my love for reading books, so I wasn't just suddenly this weird kid. And one that really stuck with me had to be the story of Pinocchio. That was my absolute favorite. And I think it's also because I used to get dissed a lot about my sharp nose. So then people would accuse me of being a little Pinocchio. I don't think I was a liar. I really don't think so. Maybe I was a storyteller, but not.
Yes. There is a big difference.
There is a huge difference, but not a liar. So yeah, those three are definitely my top three that I remember.
So let's hear from you, please. Books that, and just quickly, I mean, have you passed these on to younger family members, offered to read them to them? And if so, getting any traction?
Yes, my little sister is a huge fan of books. I've got her on Jodie Picoult also, who's my absolute favorite from my high school. And she's madly in love. I do think, though, that the younger generation is, I don't know if I can say fortunate, because most of these books that we read were now adapted to movies. So, I don't know.
Books and children. Children's books that made a big difference in your life, and whether you've managed to get younger people in your life now interested in the books that you love. Give us your stories on that, please. 072 702 1702. We started off with TV characters. We're going a little back in time and talking about the very unique pleasure that one gets from reading books, however old you are. 072 702 1702.
Drive Home with John Perlman
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
Green Tip of the Week is brought to you by Volvo. It's safe to be brave with Volvo. Each week we'll highlight someone or something impacting the way we can be greener, cleaner, smarter, healthier, and eco-friendly. Well, today we're going to talk about something rather different. It was prompted by a very sad incident, which we're going to detail in a moment, but it is to do with people finding that they actually have owls, or an owl, either living in the place where they work, perhaps a factory or a warehouse of some kind, or an owl that's present in the place where they live, not necessarily bothering you, but upsetting people who move in and out of your home. So let's talk about it then with Brendan Murray. He's from the Owl Rescue Centre, and he joins us on 702 Drive. Brendan, welcome, and thanks very much for giving us your time today. Something of a sad moment at the Coca-Cola factory in Midrand. This was in an earlier part of this month, the beginning of October. There was an owl that was in the factory, and you guys were on your way to try and safely remove the owl. The owl tragically died. But just a brief summary of that incident, but crucially, what it is that we ought to learn from it. Because I know people would be very unsettled. These are large birds, and not everybody is comfortable with their presence.
Good afternoon, John. Thanks for having me. The Coca-Cola one, this happens quite often. You know, barn owls, especially barn owls, they're what we call urban raptors.
Right.
And they're cavity dwellers. They love warehouses, workshops, thatched buildings, hospitals, clinics, cell phone towers. So they're indoor birds. So they live inside buildings during the day. They're nocturnal, so they come out at night. During the day, they want the warmth and the drive of a nice building. Yeah. So that owl unfortunately got into the Coca-Cola bottling plant. And a lot of the times the health inspectors, they don't want birds inside, especially a food processing plant.
Right.
So the bird needed to vacate the premises. We were on the way there. Sadly, the bird died before we could get out there. But it happens, quite often. And one of the projects that we have is to get corporates to put up owl breeding boxes and to place them on the outside of their buildings. So that we make these huge owl boxes, and the birds, they're in the area. They're territorial. They live in the area where these warehouses and bottling plants are. And get guys to put boxes up, and then rather the owls on the outside of the building, and not inside, setting off motion sensors
Right.
and bugging people. And then also they're great for all your rodent control. So you'll actually save a fortune on rodenticides. Yeah.
Tell us this, Brendan. I mean, had you got there and the owl was still alive and this hadn't reached the tragic point it did, but I mean, how would you capture an owl?
So we use different kinds of nets, and then we also have a net gun which works really well. So basically that's what it is. It works on a almost the same as what a paintball gun does with an air canister, and it shoots this 2 meter by 2 meter net like the cartoons,
Yes.
and it shoots the net out. So when the owl flies, if you get a clear line of sight, you just got it's a bit of an arch. It takes a while to figure it out. But you just more or less see where the net's going to take 2 seconds to get there. So where that bird is going to be in 2 seconds, that's what you aim for. Yeah. So you can miss him a couple of times, but afterwards, after a few years, you get pretty good at it. Yeah. So we use net guns or just normal nets. Or a lot of the times during the day, them being nocturnal animals, they actually sleep on the rafters. So if the guys have got decent forklifts that you can get up there, we sneak up on them while they're sleeping, and we just grab them while they're fast asleep. Yeah.
There are widely held beliefs that owls are omens of bad luck. People don't always want them around them. Do you get many calls in that regard, or is most of the contact made with the Owl Rescue Centre from people who have warehouses, factories, and so on?
Yeah, boiling down to the superstition is a huge thing, and I get probably between 70 to 100 phone calls a day on
Right.
owls, and probably 30-40% of those are for superstition-related issues. So a lot of the times people will just phone and say they've got a bird in their home or near their home or outside their house or at their workplace, and they don't want it because of the belief system, and we need to come and relocate them. A lot of schools as well. And then what we do is we go there, we catch the bird, and then it's a perfect opportunity to teach the kids because that'll be the next generation. And then you get all the kids together and you show them the bird and you show them it's just a bird. That's all it is. It's not going to harm anyone. There's no need to be scared of it. And then slowly but surely we'll win now.
So we have 12, as I understand it, species of owls in South Africa. I don't know if that's accurate, but
Correct, yes.
there's a number. If you look at an area like Gauteng, mainly urban, but with some substantial green spaces and
Yes.
a large amount of velds, despite the urbanization, do we have all of those species in Gauteng?
In Gauteng?
Yeah.
No, you've just got, of the 12 species, you've got 5 or 6 in Gauteng. So you've got the common ones, so your spotted eagle owls and your barn owls. And then to a lesser extent, you've got the white-faced owls, you've got the little pearl-spotted owls, and you've got the marsh owls. So those are the ones that you're gonna find in Gauteng. Outside of Gauteng, then you're gonna find Cape eagle owls, wood owls, grass
Right.
owls, the Varroa, giant eagle owls, and then the little African scops owl and the barred owl, and that's all of them I've just named, yeah.
What?
But yeah, in Joburg, 5 species, yeah.
What? I know it's probably a long story, but if there is a summarized version, what got you
Yes.
into this? Are you a bird lover in general, or did owls catch your heart in a particular way, and if so, how?
It's a very long story, but I started when I was in standard grade, standard 7, grade 9.
Yes.
I started rescuing birds when I was in school, and it just, so it's been, I won't give my age away, but it's a couple of decades, just
Yes,
3 decades,
yes.
yeah. I've been rescuing, but yeah, we do over 2,000 rescues a year now, every year, yeah. So it's a job, that's for sure.
It is, but a job many people appreciate, and thank you for your time. We appreciate
Thank
that
you.
as well. Brendan Murray, manager at the Owl Rescue Centre. Very, very interesting stuff indeed. And I'll just get out their number and share it with you, because perhaps you've been in that situation, maybe an owl in your workplace, an owl in your environment. A family that I know had an owl that was living in a tree in the garden, but there were people who worked at the premises, and they were really uncomfortable. And plans had to be made to try and accommodate, on the one hand, the importance of the bird, but also the feelings of people who were there. So if you've been in that situation and you want to tell us about it, 072-702-1702. Remember when you had to wait for dial-up to connect? Well, technology moves on. So why are people still driving cars like it's 1999? Volvo's plug-in hybrids are the upgrade you've been waiting for. You don't need diesel power, you just need a second electric motor. Just like you updated from dial-up to fiber, you can upgrade your drive with electric for the city and fuel for the open road. Don't be the last one to catch up. You're late for your test drive. It's safe to be brave with Volvo. Green Tip of the Week was brought to you by Volvo. It's safe to be brave with Volvo. And please do tune in again next week on Tuesday for another Green Tip of the Week.
Africa Milani.
Weekday mornings,
4 to 6.
What, in your opinion, needs to be done immediately by the National Police Commissioner, I suppose, by extension, the acting police minister, to help address this?
To enforce the current law, the Firearms Control Act of 2000, because it has been successful for some time. When it was implemented, it halved deaths from 34 to 18 in 2009. The government is also to tighten control over the legal guns themselves.
Dr. Stanley Maposa is the Executive Director of Gun Free South Africa.
Africa Milani.
4 to 6 on 702.
For over a decade, Aluma Capital has had one simple mission: to help you secure the financial future that you deserve. Over the past 10 years, they've empowered thousands of clients with personalized strategies, expert advice, and impressive returns of up to 13.2%. Whether it's growing wealth, securing retirement, or planning for the unexpected, Aluma Capital is there every step of the way. Visit aluma.co.za today. Aluma Capital is a licensed FSP. T's and C's apply.
If this ad caught your ear, imagine what Prime Media can do for your business. With SA's leading media company, your message reaches the right audience across radio, digital audio, video, and display. The Prime Impact Sales Event is coming to Joburg, 3 to 7 November, and Cape Town, 10 to 13 November. Register today for a free demo commercial, a custom campaign, and unbeatable annual partnerships. Seats are limited. Secure yours now at primeimpact.co.za.
You could spend 10 minutes waiting for that video to download. Or get a 10-minute quote from Outsurance that could save you thousands on your car insurance. SMS out to 45142. Like 48-year-old Felicity, who now pays a low 836 Rand a month for her 2020 Hyundai Tucson. With Outsurance, you get the legendary out bonus that pays you a percentage of your premiums back if you're claim-free. SMS out to 45142. Make today the day you switch and get more out. After switching, 31-year-old Palisa now pays only 926 Rand a month for her 2024 Kia Sonet. Ready to get more out of your car insurance? Get a quote today. And if Outsurance can't beat what you're currently paying, you can ask for 500 Rand. Make that 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years. Savings or cash, you have nothing to lose. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance, licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
This is EWN.
Matale says he does not know Matlala or Mokhotsi, and TRC inquiry says some government departments are simply not cooperating. Good afternoon, I'm Bali Lamini. Deputy Police Minister Kasal Matale says he doesn't know murder-accused Vusimuzi Kat Matlala or controversial businessman Brown Mokhotsi. Matale says not everyone in the police department knows who Matlala is, even though he's alleged to yield a lot of political influence and won a multi-million rand tender with the police. Matale denied knowing the two men accused of police interference while giving evidence for the first day before Parliament's ad hoc committee probing allegations of police corruption. Babalondenze reports.
Deputy Minister Kasal Matale was questioned about his relationship with Vusumuzi Kat Matlala and Brown Mokhotsi, who are at the center of allegations of corruption and interference. Like previous witnesses Senzo Mchunu and Bheki Cele, Matale downplayed his links to the two. He says not everyone in the police knows Madlanga, adding he only heard of him when allegations of his involvement in police corruption became public.
Personally, I don't know him. I only came to know him when these issues started to hit the wall, and it was in the public space.
As far as Brown Mokhotsi is concerned, Matale says he's also not acquainted.
Brown Mokhotsi, yeah, that is one that I don't know. I don't know that one. I've heard about him with these things that is happening. But
Matale's testimony today is centered around the disbandment of the political killings task team, which he says was not practical. Baba Londenza, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
Let's shift our focus to Pretoria now, where the family of two Mamelodi women who were shot and killed at the weekend says they have been left to connect the dots and figure out what may have led to their brutal murders. 21-year-old Baliseng and 22-year-old Siamo Moramaga were shot in the early hours of Sunday morning following a night out. Yesterday, police arrested a 38-year-old suspect linked to those murders and charged him with 2 counts of murder and 1 of attempted murder. It's alleged he also shot a third person who was then rushed to the hospital. Khomotso Modise reports.
The family of Tiamo and Baliseng Moramaga say the young women loved each other deeply and grew up like twins, even deciding to stay together when they moved from Lukau village in Limpopo to Mamelodi in search of a better life. Their aunt, Maki Moramaga, says in her quiet time, she still wonders what may have led to their brutal murder.
The suspect was Tiamo's boyfriend. What I think happened is that Baliseng was trying to protect her sister, and that's when he decided to kill them both.
Moramaga says she's filled with so much anger that she does not want to see the suspect even in court. The man will make his first appearance at the Mamelodi Magistrates Court tomorrow. Khomotso Modise, Eyewitness News in Mamelodi.
The inquiry into Truth and Reconciliation Commission cases has decried a lack of cooperation from key government departments and agencies. The inquiry says some government departments have not been forthcoming, claiming there has been a lack of compliance with requests for information. President Cyril Ramaphosa set up the inquiry to investigate allegations of interference and efforts to stop the prosecution of TRC cases. Over 20 years since the TRC wrapped up, almost all 300 apartheid-era cases referred to the NPA for prosecution have not made any progress. Nogukanya Mdambo has the details.
Following the first pre-hearing engagement in September, the inquiry asked for interested and affected parties to submit witness statements, memorandums, reports and other documentary evidence. The inquiry then issued letters to current and former presidents, ministers of police, ministers of justice and national and provincial directors of public prosecutions. Following a lack of responses, the TRC cases inquiry then issued another directive and request for information. But the SAPS, the Department of Justice, the Presidency and the Parliamentary Committee on Justice have allegedly been non-compliant. Spokesperson of the TRC cases inquiry, Lionel Adendorf.
This has an obvious direct impact on our work and our ability to prepare for the hearings set for the 10th of November.
Despite claims of a lack of compliance, the inquiry says it doesn't expect delays to the start of the hearings. Nogukanya Mdambo, Eyewitness News.
To this now, the DA in Gauteng says it will not be apologizing to political parties or anyone to gain support for its motion of no confidence in Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi. The DA says Lesufi must be removed from the top post following a damning public protector report which found the provincial government established the Gauteng Crime Prevention Wardens with no legal mandate. The DA has struggled to gather support for its motion, with the EFF demanding the party apologizes for previous negative characterizations before engaging in talks. Action SA has also asked the DA to apologize to the people of Gauteng for voting in Lesufi as Premier back when it believed it would enter into a coalition with the ANC in the province. Speaking at a media briefing in Joburg today, one of the DA's senior leaders in Gauteng, Jack Bloom, says apologies are not on the table.
We're not apologizing to any other party. They must consider the motion on its merits. If they feel that Premier
Panyaza Lesotho, despite flagrant illegalities and incompetence and corruption, deserves their support, well then they must vote against it. And if they think he needs to be removed, well then they must vote for it. It's as simple as that.
And in Kenya, 11 people have been killed after the small plane they were travelling in from the country's coast crashed earlier today. The small plane was en route to Kichawa Tembo, an airstrip located in the Masai Mara National Park. Mombasa Air Safari has confirmed there were 10 passengers, 8 Hungarians, 2 Germans and a Kenyan captain on board. In August, a light aircraft belonging to the medical NGO Amref crashed into the outskirts of the capital Nairobi, killing 6 people and injuring 2 others. An investigation is now underway into the cause of the latest crash. Gold is trading at $3,903.62 an ounce. The rand is at 17.25 to the dollar, 22.95 to the pound, 20.10 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $65.62 a barrel.
In the traffic in Boksburg, there are roadworks on the N17 East. This is before Carnival City entrance, causing delays from the R21. And in Sandton, several roads with the CBD are congested. This is due to peak time delays. Routes affected include Catherine Street, Rivonia Road and Grayston Drive.
In your sport, Pakistan elect to bat first in opening T20 against South Africa. Proteas women gear up for their World Cup semi-final against England. And police arrest 4 people for the attempted kidnapping of Zenit St. Petersburg midfielder.
A cloudy Wednesday in store for Gauteng tomorrow with afternoon thundershowers expected. Joburg dropping to overnight lows of 14 degrees, peaking at 24. Pretoria 16 and 25 and Vereeniging 13 and 24 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, Deputy Police Minister Castle Matale says he does not know murder accused Vusimuzi Cat Matlala or controversial businessman Brown Mokhotsi.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702.
Drive home with John Perlman.
John Perlman, 3 to 6 p.m.
on 92.7 and 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
702 Drive, it's 10 past 5. Coming up on the show in the next half an hour or so, Babalo Ndenze, EWN parliamentary reporter, joins us to update us on what's happening at Parliament's ad hoc committee that's looking into issues in the police. Currently answering questions is Deputy Police Minister Castle Matale. And then on a very different note, we're going to talk about an event that is one of the highlights of the calendar here in Johannesburg. Certainly a highlight for me is the annual Winex. It's a gathering of many of the Western Cape's finest wine producers. It's a celebration of the industry, and it also gives us an opportunity to look at the state of South Africa's wine industry after a year of considerable tariff and trade turbulence. We'll have that conversation with wine expert and Winex founder Michael Fridjon coming your way at about 20 minutes past 5.
EWN Traffic.
But first, let's get you home. Eyewitness News Traffic with Plumlink, your local plumbing store. Visit plumlink.co.za to find your nearest store. From Wilson Munyai with the latest. Good afternoon.
Hi, John, thank you. In Boksburg, like I said, there are roadworks on the N17 East. This is before Carnival City entrance. It is causing delays from the R21. Staying within the east, traffic is still moving slow. This is on the R24 West, just before Edenvale Road, and it is due to an earlier accident. Traffic is also gridlocked. This is on the N12 East, just between Edenvale Road and Craft Road. Coming towards the side on the M1 North in Parktown, traffic is slow moving. This is on Empire Road between Jan Smuts Avenue and Yale Road. Traffic is backed up on the N1 South. This is between the Betlu interchange and Winnie Mandela Drive. You can anticipate about a 15-minute delay. Traffic lights are out in particular parts of Johannesburg. We'll start in Rand Park Ridge. This is at the N1 in Bears Nodia Drive. In Edenvale at the N3 and Morfontein Road. In Sandown at Cambridge Road and Witkoppen Road. And also in Linksfield at the N3 North and Linksfield Road. Pointsmen are on duty, though, to control the traffic. In Tshwane, there has been an accident earlier on the N1 South. This is before Rigel Avenue, and it continues to slow down traffic coming from Linwood Road. Traffic lights are also out in the capital in Centurion. This is at the N1 and Old Joburg Road, and also in Littleton at the N14 and Jean Avenue. To report any traffic problems, please do send us a tweet. We are on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
If it's plumbing, you'll find it at Plumlink, South Africa's largest plumbing retailer. From pipes, fittings, geysers, and baths to basins, taps, tools, and accessories, we've got it all. With more than 10,000 quality products and over 150 stores nationwide, there's always a Plumlink near you, ready to help with expert advice and unbeatable value. Find your nearest branch today at plumlink.coza. Now open at 67 Voortrekker Road, Oudtshoorn.
Plumlink, your local plumbing store.
Study your law degree at Regenesis Law School in Sandton or online and build a successful future with leading multinational corporations, or you could launch your own legal practice. A Regenesis Law degree is profoundly transformational. It shapes intellectually sharp, fearless warriors for justice and purpose-driven lawyers. Regenesis is Africa's fastest-growing education institution with 1,000 multinational clients across 12 countries and a faculty of 100 industry experts. Enroll now for your law degree at Regenesis Law School at law.regenesis.net.
Tip your way to glory in the Hollywood Bets Punters Challenge, the free-to-play horse racing game with daily cash giveaways and massive jackpot prizes. Pick all the winners on the race card and you could win 100,000 Rand. Bet 50 Rand or more on your selections using the Bet Slip feature and you could walk away with 1 million Rand. Visit punterschallenge.hollywoodbets.net today and tip your way to the top. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008.
You can become a victim of a legal problem, wrongful arrest, assault, uncontested divorce, rental disputes, maintenance matters, or labor problems. It can happen to you. Clientele Legal provides tough professional lawyers for an affordable monthly premium. Our legal team is standing by to assist you 24 hours a day. Join today. SMS Legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
You're with John Perlman on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
702 Drive, let's go down to Parliament. If you were to put on your TV screen on any of the major South African news channels, you'll see the Deputy Police Minister, Castle Matale, is still answering questions from members of Parliament. This after lengthy testimony today. But let's catch up with what he said and what the most significant issues that have come up in the questioning has been. Babalo Ndenze, our EWN parliamentary reporter, joins us now from the Parliamentary House down in Cape Town. Babalo, good afternoon to you. What certainly struck me, and I'm dipping in and out, obviously, is the number of times that the Deputy Minister appears to contradict Minister Senzo Mchunu. Has that been a strong feature? And if so, what have been the major contradictions?
Yes, indeed, John. He has contradicted Minister Senzo Mchunu, much like Becky Cele did last week, Thursday and Friday. Obviously, most of the questions focused around that political killings task team disbanding directive by Minister Mchunu. He says that, the PKTT, that the actual letter of the directive was too strongly worded for his liking, especially where the minister says with immediate effect this must be disbanded. And he says that he also hints that it might not have been written by Mchunu himself, even Norman Arons, so even suggesting that Shadrack Spear seems to be the one who actually drafted that letter. But he does, contradict the minister on the disbanding of the task team. He says the task team is the president's project, and, it was set up by the president. And it's, also was set up as part of this interministerial committee, which will oversee its operations. So he says, firstly, this is not, a directive that can just be issued by just anyone. It's really should be consulted either through the IMC as well as the National Commissioner. And he also says that you can't, disband a political killings task team without taking into consideration how to deal with things that will happen afterwards. Basically, how will these resources be deployed across the country, or where will they be deployed in the police? He also contradicts the minister as far as wasteful expenditure is concerned, John, where, if you might remember, Minister Mkhulu saying that, there were concerns, that this political killings task team might be flouting, the PFMA, that's the public finance, legislation. There's, irregular or wasteful expenditure, or fruitless expenditure that the task team is doing, saying that they were claiming millions for a number of items. But Castle Matale says, no, this can't be the case. There is no a wasteful expenditure. It's not an illegal operation either. And he says that, these costs that were incurred by this task team were expected because it is a task team. It is set up on an ad hoc basis, on a needs basis. And these costs should be expected, and they can't be deemed to be wasteful or irregular by the minister because, the price is a bit too much. So he's contradicted the minister on those parts mainly during his testimony. And he's basically saying, just to sum it up, John, that, this task team should have never been disbanded because it was doing excellent work. And at no point was its work or its operations brought into question, and they were doing their work as expected. And he's also not sure whether the minister actually did tell the president that he's disbanding this task team because it is his project. And also contradicting the minister on that part, because you remember the minister did say, quite adamantly that he did inform the president, and the president agreed with his presentation or with his submission.
Thanks so much, Babalo Ndenze, summarizing what we've heard so far from Deputy Police Minister Castle Matale. What's also come up, by the way, has been many questions asked. What does the Deputy Minister of Police actually do? And certainly from what I've read from various people reporting on it, the answers have not been particularly persuasive, including a clear indication, it would seem, from the Deputy Minister that no specific tasks have been delegated to him ever since he took up this position as Deputy Minister of Police. It really is quite an extraordinary situation where if everything Castle Matale is saying about the disbanding of the political killings task team is correct and verified, that as the Deputy Minister, he was never informed, consulted, never involved in this in any way, shape or form. And this feeds into a much larger debate where people are asking questions. By the way, why do we have deputy ministers? Topic for another day. 20 minutes past 5.
John Perlman
on 702.
3 to 6 p.m.
Well, one of the industries and sectors in South Africa that has had to deal with some very uncertain times given the world trade and tariff situation, an ecosystem that is going through a great deal of turbulence and unpredictability, is the South African wine industry. That does not, however, get in the way of the production of wine, the marketing of wine, and the celebrating of this very unique and I think extremely interesting industry. It's the turn now of something that's known as WineX. It is the largest consumer wine festival in the Southern Hemisphere, and it opens tomorrow and runs for another 2 days after that. Tickets, by the way, at Web Tickets, over around 600 wines that you can go and taste, and you can engage with 120 exhibitors. Not all of them are winemakers. Some of them make olives and biltong and sweets. Nougat, I think, is on the list of exhibitors, but it is fundamentally a celebration of South African wine. It's the brainchild of my next guest, Michael Fridjon, founder of the Standard Bank WineX and a regular guest to talk about the industry right here on 702 Drive. Michael, welcome, and thanks very much for giving us your time. Is this year's WineX pretty much like last year's WineX, very much in the vein of if it's not broken, don't fix it, or are there some things you're doing differently in 2025? Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, John. We try to do different things every year. If you take an overall look at the show, what you're going to see is 130, 150 exhibitors. In real terms, that's about half of the total wine industry. There are 500 sellers in the country, but more than 2/3 of them are really so small that they don't really get out of their immediate sort of gravitational field. But for the rest, the guys are there, all of them. And it is different because every year we try to add to this growing love of wine and enthusiasm and knowledge without being sort of pedantic about it. So one of the innovations this year is we've got these huge bowls with aromas in them, so that when people say that they can't smell the berries and cherries or not quite sure what New Mown hay really smells like, we've got this whole display out there so that people can actually familiarize themselves with the aromas of wine speak, not because it's essential to your enjoyment of wine, but it does help to fit the pictures together. And if you do get that smell of New Mown hay, you know you're tasting a Sauvignon Blanc.
Yes.
And if you get tropical fruit, you might guess you've got Chardonnay or Chenin. So that's really what we've added together with a kind of passport that helps people navigate the room and find out where they'll find red, white, or rosé wine. And what they can do as well is go onto the website even before they go to WineX, and as they click on an exhibitor's name, there'll be a drop-down with a list of the wines that will be on display and available for tasting at that particular stand, because as you rightly said, 600 or in this case 700 wines, you do have to thin out the field a little bit.
Yes, or move incredibly fast and lose all perspective as to what it is you're tasting in the first place. I don't know if your scent bowls, by the way, include wet dog. I seem to remember once when I was getting interested in wine, when I saw all those things, vanilla and whatever, in my comprehensive ignorance, I thought, well, maybe those things were added to the wine to give it its taste. But then when I saw wet dog, I thought probably not. Michael, you talked you talked about a growing market and a growing love for wine. Where's the growth? Because we've spoken before, probably in the context of some kind of tariff announcement from the White House. And you were saying critical, never mind exports, is to grow in country. Where's the growth coming from?
So it's certainly coming from in and around Gauteng. Gauteng is the world's largest market for Cape wine. Now, I know that sounds almost self-evident, but the industry exports nearly, these days, about 45% of its production, and yet Gauteng accounts for more wine sales than the whole of Great Britain, the whole of Germany. So we are a really important market, and we're growing because of this new demographic. You look at that room and you do realize that urban Johannesburg is a bit of a kind of, or urban Johannesburg in the Sandton G20 space is a kind of a bit of a poster boy for what has happened in this country over the last 20 or 30 years. There are people who are acquiring a love for wine, an enjoyment in wine. All the research shows that whereas previous generations, the men drank beer or spirits and women drank rosé and gin and tonic, believe it or not, now men and women are going out, having meals, enjoying wine and sharing it as part of the kind of common good of what it is to have a little bit of disposable income.
And just finally, Michael, and briefly, if you can, I mean, the issues around people, you know, there's obviously an advantage if people learn more about wine and how it's made, but at the same time, my sense of WineX and other things you've been involved in is to be as inclusive as possible. What's the sweet spot? Because there's some people who are genuinely interested and love learning about it. There are others who say, couldn't be bothered. This is something I like. And maybe they even find some of the language a little, inaccessible and even pretentious. But there is a sweet spot because presumably the more people know about the industry, visit estates in the Western Cape and so on, there is an opportunity to deepen the love of the product and broaden the market.
I don't think people need to be spoken down to. I don't think winemakers or producers need to use kind of wine speak as a way of making wine inaccessible, as a means of putting up a border or a kind of gate in some way. But somebody rightly pointed out that when you become interested in the subject, any subject. Let's assume for a moment it's English football. You've got to know who the clubs are. You do need to understand the basic rules of the game. Otherwise, you can't arrive at a party and engage with people for whom it is an interest and a hobby and expect not so much to be taken seriously. You don't have that common vernacular.
Right.
So I think that familiarizing yourself, not in the sense of going to school, makes it easier to become more interested in wine. And one of the things we're doing a lot of at WineX is encouraging people to meet up with the Cape Wine Academy, to use wine education as a social fun thing rather than a back-to-school experience, in order to just acquire some of that lingo and feel at least part of a club, not an outsider.
Fabulous. Thank you. Michael Fridjon, founder of Standard Bank WineX. There's an opening night, I think, an invitation-based opening. And then Thursday, Friday, if you haven't been, I really do recommend you go. It's huge fun. It's interesting. And it's an opportunity to chat to people who actually make the wine and get some sense of why they've made it their life's mission. 702 Drive, it's 28 minutes past 5.
To walk the talk is to turn words into meaningful actions. And it's what we at 702 are committed to doing every day. We are also committed to following the rules set out by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission's Code of Conduct, to give you balanced programming, fair comments, and accurate news. But if we stumble along the way and you feel we are not living up to the code, let us know on comments at 702.co.za. And if after that you're still not happy, you can direct your complaint in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission. Email bccsa@nabsa.co.za. For more, visit bccsa.co.za.
Remember when you had to wait for dial-up to connect? Technology moves on, so why are people still driving cars like it's 1999? Volvo's plug-in hybrids are the upgrade you've been waiting for. You don't need diesel power, you just need a second electric motor. Just like you updated from dial-up to fiber, you can upgrade your drive with electric for the city and fuel for the open road. Don't be the last one to catch up. You're late for your test drive. It's safe to be brave with Volvo.
EWN Business.
Stephen Curtis, good afternoon once again.
Afternoon to you, John. Well, markets falling back a little bit. The JSE All Share ending the day just up over 1.2%, 1.02%, I should say, at 109,818 points. Financials up 1.5%, industrials down 0.2%, and resources up 2.42% despite a lower gold price. Some of the gold shares, I think people just getting in on the gold action while they can. But a day, I think, that will be remembered for what happened to We Buy Cars, ending the day down 13.57% on the day. We'll speak to their CEO on the Money Show tonight, John. I think they must have been horrified to saw what happened. Their headline earnings per share due to be up by around 100%. Their core headline earnings up by around 15%. But investors, I think, concerned about a couple of things. There was a share dilution, so it does affect the earnings. But I think also just worried about growth slowing in the second half of the year. And that leads to questions about the second-hand car market. Karoo, they, of course, are in the car technology business, if I can call it that, particularly trackers. They're down 3.64%. Alphaman down 1.92%, and Naspers down 1.7%. Process down 1.66%. The Foschini Group down 1.5%. More on the Money Show about Old Mutual as well. They're spending 2.2 billion rand to take over 10x investments. 10x provides retirement and savings products using passive investments. Also tonight, the CEO of IOCO, the co-CEO, I should say, they've increased their EBITDA by 68%. You remember them, John? They were called EOH at the time. They went through all sorts of drama. Seem to have put that behind them very successfully now. Headline earnings per share improving to 40 cents. They swung back into profit. They've sold some entities. They're now looking at buying some more. So they're sort of on the acquisition trail by the looks of it. Kumba ending the day up 4.82% after reporting that their total sales were up by 7%, mainly because they were able to shift more stuff to the coast through Transnet's railway system. And Merafe Resources reporting, of course, that their ferrochrome production down by 51% in the 9 months to the end of September. Most of the country's smelters are closed because our electricity is too expensive, need I remind you. MTN up 3% on the day, and then the platinum miners Sibanye and Valterra up around 2.7, 2.8% on the day as well. In the US, quite a strong start to the day. Apple passed $4 trillion in valuation for the first time. There are also strong updates from UPS and United Health. Don't forget, there is an expectation of another interest rate cut. And, of course, there's the big meeting between Trump and Xi on Thursday. The Dow Jones up 0.53%. The Nasdaq up 0.33%. The S&P 500 up 0.1%. The gold price, $3,954.35. Platinum, $1,586. Brent crude, $63.73. The rand to the dollar, 17.17. To the euro, 20.01. To the British pound, 22.79. John, I'm sure, like me, you've seen a lot of commentary, people very happy with Barbara Creesy's, the Transport Minister's, suggestions for the railway sector, an increased role for the private sector, etc. Well, we'll speak to the Port of Gauteng.
Okay.
They actually say this is just not going to work. They say they're quite keen to provide a reality check. We'll give them the opportunity and talk about why they're so concerned about that. We'll speak to the CEO at Old Mutual as well. And we'll also look at what happens if you decide to buy now and pay later. I'll give you a hint. It comes with a tinge of regret. Stephen Curtis, EWN Business.
Thanks, Stephen. Money Show from 6 to 8. Now 27 minutes to 6. It's news time. Here's Mbali Dlamini.
Thanks, John. Good afternoon. Action SA in the eThekwini Metro Municipality plans to table a motion for the city to investigate safety compliance at the Homey building where 7-year-old twins plunged down a lift shaft. A week ago, Aphelele Dlamini died after he and his twin sister, Apile, fell down the shaft at their home building in the Durban CBD. Apile remains in a critical condition in hospital. Action SA says it wants the municipality to take tangible action in this matter. Ntantla Mabaso reports.
While the parents of the Dlamini twins await outcomes of the final investigations and for the management of property business Homey to release the footage of the incident, Action SA has weighed in on the tragic incident and is demanding intervention from the KZN Metro. The party says it will table a motion during council this week requesting the city's investigation unit to look into the building. It's alleged in 2023, another victim, Andy Swamonchongo, died in a similar incident in the same building. Party KZN leader Zwakele Mncwango.
We believe there should be transparency on what really happened here, and also those who are responsible of this property need to be held accountable, and those who are responsible to ensure safety of our buildings in eThekwini from the municipality are also held accountable.
The party has also written a letter of motivation to Speaker Thabani Nyaose with the same plea on the matter. Nhlanhla Mabaso, Eyewitness News, Durban.
In the courts now to a story which contains some disturbing details. Self-confessed murderer Amberly Hughes will have to wait until next year to learn her fate. The Johannesburg High Court has postponed sentencing proceedings in her matter to allow for the defence to present more evidence and mitigation of sentence. In August, Hughes was found guilty of the rape and murder of her boyfriend's 4-year-old daughter, Nada Jane Chalita. Nada Jane was found floating in the bathtub of the home she shared with her father and Hughes in 2023. During proceedings today, prosecutors started cross-examining one of the defence's witnesses, but Hughes's lawyer has requested a postponement. Judge Richard Makabela.
The defense requested the acting judge president to afford them more days in order to complete the evidence.
Staying in the courts in the Western Cape now, the kidnapping case against alleged baby snatcher Samima Jacobs was delayed again today after her lawyer was granted a postponement. Jacobs allegedly abducted 9-day-old Imad Sharma from his mother in June at Middestart Mall in Belleville while pretending she was a volunteer for an NPO. Police returned the baby to its mother 2 days after that abduction. Carlo Peterson has more.
Kidnapping accused Samima Jacobs' legal aid lawyer today told the court she was not ready to proceed with a hearing to amend her client's bail conditions. Jacobs was granted bail with strict conditions to stay out of Mitchell's Plain, where baby Imad and his mother Iman Shamar reside. 3 weeks ago, Jacobs made a request for the court to amend her bail conditions for her to visit Mitchell's Plain to fetch her belongings. However, since then, she has had 3 different legal aid lawyers and the application is yet to be made.
The client gave me this document, Worship, and before I can proceed with the application, I would like to peruse this document, Worship.
Magistrate Kobani Ndaleni granted Jacobs' lawyer until next Thursday to submit the application. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News, Belleville Magistrates Court.
And Elon Musk's company XAI has launched Grokipedia to compete with Wikipedia, which he has accused of ideological bias. The site had more than 885,000 articles by last night, compared to Wikipedia's more than 7 million in English. The launch came with the promise of a newer version, which Musk says will be 10 times better than the current live site. Grokipedia's release had been marked down for the end of September, but it was delayed by the US entrepreneur trying to purge out the propaganda. Musk has been a regular critic of Wikipedia. In 2024, he accused the site of being controlled by far-left activists. A cloudy Wednesday in store for Gauteng tomorrow with afternoon thundershowers expected. Lows of between 13 and 16 degrees and highs of between 24 and 25.
In the traffic in Woodmead, there has been an accident on the N1 South. This is before Rivonia Road, slowing down traffic from the Betlu interchange. And in Germiston, there's queuing traffic on the N3 South between Van Buren Road and the Geldenhuys interchange.
A top story in EWN, Action SA in eThekwini plans to table a motion for the city to investigate safety compliance at the Homey building where 7-year-old twins plunged down a lift shaft.
702 Afternoons
with Relebohile Maboja, 1 to 3 p.m.
I have somebody on my team, and every single time I bring up, like, let's figure out how to do X, Y, and Z, they tell me about a new app, and I'm like, listen, I've just learned ChatGPT, and now in the spaces we have switched to Teams, they have oh my gosh, it's too much.
It is too much, and if I can give people advice, I think just relax and chill out about it, you know. I don't mean to sound flippant on that. What I'm trying to say is that this technology will shape the world, there's no doubt. And you're not doing it right, you're not doing it wrong. I think also the thing to be careful about is who you're looking for advice on how to use this.
Founder and Operations Director of Aspire Solutions, Mike Steen.
702 Afternoons
with Relebohile Maboja.
Let's walk the talk.
The Market Theatre invites you to 2 outstanding plays. Step into Afropocalypse, the Standard Bank Gold Ovation Award winner at the National Arts Festival, where the whole family can visit a post-apocalyptic Africa and meet storytellers who share fables of greed, mortality, religion, and unconditional love. Then enter Barbershop Chronicles, the international hit play that celebrates connection and brotherhood in 6 barbershops in Africa and London. Visit markettheatre.co.za to buy your tickets.
Welcome to the brand new days.
Sail the world with Norwegian Cruise Line, with more to see, more to do, and more to enjoy. Plus, upgrade your holiday with NCL's More at Sea. For premium beverages, specialty dining, and much more. Think international cruising. Think NCL. For the best deals available, visit ncl.com or contact your travel agent. Restrictions apply.
Welcome to the brand new days.
Naked people never skip leg day because naked people spend less time on insurance admin and more time at the gym. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP.
702. WhatsApp John
on 072
702
1702.
Good afternoon, John. Oh my goodness, books I loved as a child.
You know, I was introduced to Shakespeare when I was very young. My dad had a book called Tales from Shakespeare. I think it's by Charles and Mary Lamb, and it just kind of simplified Shakespeare. Loved that book. I started reading that book even before I started school. And then I loved the series by James Herriot, that series about him as a vet in, I think it's Yorkshire or something like that in England. And I loved Little Women. Can't remember who the author is. So those were the books. In fact, I still have all of those books. I went and bought the whole collection by James Herriot. Unfortunately, my kids are not interested, but I'm still reading them. So yeah, that's my books.
Yeah, thanks for that, James Herriot. All creatures great and small, and follow up, all things wise and wonderful. And then another one, every living thing. I think Little Women, Louisa May Alcott, never read it, but I'm aware of it on the shelves in the home where I lived, where I must admit I grew up with really a lot of books. This one from Signed and Sealed is the name they put on there. What's that? Oh, no, Dima. Thank you. Dima says, my high school library had a series called Anne of Green Gables. I thoroughly enjoyed each copy, and later the series was on TV. Just asking, if you have just joined us, what kind of books made an impact on you as a child, and are there, or as a young person, it doesn't have to be child, did you manage to share your enthusiasm and get some traction with young people in your life now? I asked as well if you've ever been caught up in terrifying natural disasters like the hurricane that's about to slam into Jamaica. And B sent me this on X, says, I was in the USA. We went on a cruise departing from Miami and going around the Caribbean. Hurricane Katrina was only being watched, but halfway through the cruise, Katrina hit. The ship was knocking back and forth left and right, but when we arrived back in Miami, the city had been destroyed, almost flattened. It was an incredible journey and experience. Keep those stories coming. 072 7021 702.
EWN Sport.
16 minutes to 6. Cricket underway in Pakistan. Tola Kele with an update.
Thanks so much, John. In South Africa at the crease on 104 for the loss of 2. That's in the 9th over. Batting is Devalt Brevis on 9 alongside Reza Hendricks on 35. Tomorrow, the Proteas women are up against England in a World Cup semi-final. Nadine de Klerk has impressed during the tournament, scoring 176 runs, and teammate Sune Luce has backed her to continue her good form.
Yeah, she's obviously a very exciting talent for us. She's come into her own this tournament and been very explosive, which is awesome to see for us. It just lengthens the lineup if you have someone like Nadine coming in at 8 or 9. You know, we bat very deep at the moment, which is very good for us. We've always been wanting that. So it just gives, the top order extra freedom, just to really go at it and set up a good platform for, the number 6, 7, 8 to really come off and, just hit those big sixes.
Banyana are away from qualifying for next year's Women's Africa Cup of Nations as they currently tied at 1-1 in their second round qualifier against DR Congo. Ahead of tonight's return leg, interim coach Tinasonke Mbule has been boosted by the return of 5 overseas-based players, including Tembi Kgatlana.
All the players based in Mexico, our offensive players, we do Hilda, Tembi, Amo, and Sinopolo. So it should give us more options in terms of our attacking approach. So I'm happy to have them on camp, but more than anything, it would help us in terms of our options going forward, in terms of our offensive play.
A semi-final spot is on the line in the Carling knockout as Orlando Pirates host defending champions Magesi tonight. Adeslam Wadu has backed Yanele Mbutuma to bounce back, having missed a penalty as the Buccaneers were eliminated from the CAF Champions League.
He's still young, still many competitions this season, and he will be very important for us. I like the behavior of our team. All the colleagues went to him to help him, and in that moment, it is in that moment that we need colleagues and we need teammates. It's not when everything is going well. We recognize a strong team, a solidarity when the things are going wrong as well.
Russian police have arrested multiple suspects for a failed attempt to abduct Zenit St. Petersburg midfielder Andrei Mostovoy last Thursday. Mostovoy was walking down the street when men pounced on him and tried to force him into a car. He managed to escape thanks to the intervention of another athlete, hockey player Alexander Graken. And in rugby, Zachary Porthen will make his Springbok debut against Japan on Saturday as Rassie Erasmus named a largely settled match day 23. That's for the opening match of the November internationals. Currently, Aronsa, Franco Mostad and Lot Diaga reclaimed their places in the starting 15, while Gerard Steenkamp and Johan Grobler are back among the replacements, having last featured in the 2024 outgoing tour. Tola Gilemganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
EWN Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. And you could save on car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Kumotso Munyai keeping an eye on the roads for us. If you're heading out in an eastwards direction out of Gauteng and moving into Kuruleni, or out of Joburg rather, moving to Kuruleni, sounds like there's all sorts of problems. What's up?
That's right. Thank you, John. We'll start in Germiston. There's queuing traffic on the N3 South. This is between Van Buren and the Gelden Hayes interchange. In Tembisa, roadworks are back up again on the R21 North. This is before Olifantsfontein Road, slowing down traffic from the R25. In Boksburg, there are also roadworks on the N17 East before Carnival City entrance, causing delays from the R21. So if you could please just exercise a little bit of patience. Coming towards the north in Woodmead, there has been an accident on the N1 South. This is before Rivonia Road, and it is also slowing down traffic from the Betlu interchange. In Parktown, traffic is still slow moving on Empire Road between Jan Smuts Avenue and Yale Road. Traffic lights are also out in Edenvale, Modderfontein Road and Van Riebeek Road, also in Sandown at Cambridge Road and Witkoppen Road. And in Tshwane, in Centurion, this is at the N1 and Old Joburg Road. There's still some slow-moving traffic there due to traffic lights that are also out, but pointsmen are on duty, so don't panic. To report any traffic problems, please do send us a tweet. We are on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Clever late excuse number 88. You accidentally set your alarm for 6 p.m. instead of 6 a.m. Doubt they'll buy that. Fortunately, with the Outsurance pointsmen on the roads, you no longer have to come up with creative excuses for being late. The Outsurance pointsmen, easing traffic congestion and getting you there quickly and safely since 2005. Outsurance really means it when they say you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702, show them some love online using hashtag pointsmenlove. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
You're with John Perlman on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
702 Drive. So at the end of the show yesterday, we did something in regard to music, which is what we always do to wrap up 702 Drive. But we kind of gave it, we thought, short shrift. We didn't quite play enough of your voice notes. We had an extra interview in that half hour. So all in all, we thought we'd carry on with what we did yesterday, because you sent us so many interesting and excellent voice notes in answer to this question. What is your favorite song in your playlist that's by an artist that many other people may not have heard about? The least well-known but equally brilliant star of your playlist, because presumably in your playlist there's stuff that other people know and by artists that are well-known. So we've kept your voice notes, we've loaded up some of the songs, but we're very, very keen to hear from you again. So the question again, in your playlist, an artist that other people may not know about, but you really want to share a hidden gem with us, get us please on 072 7021 702, or if you want to chat briefly, 011 883 0702. The sooner you send it, the more easily we can dig for the song and make sure we get to play it. Let's get going with some of your contributions from yesterday.
John here from Randburg. My peculiar song is Alan Parsons' Project, and the song is Eye in the Sky.
Don't try
Yeah, the Alan Parsons Project goes back to my sort of teenage years, 1974. I'm not sure when that particular song came out. Very interesting. It's a band that just had two people, Alan Parsons and Eric Wolfson. They met in the canteen of Abbey Road Studios. That's according to Wikipedia at least. Parsons was an assistant engineer on the Beatles' albums Abbey Road and Let It Be. So certainly knew the ins and outs of the music industry, and that's one of the most successful songs they produced, called Eye in the Sky. So let's have your suggestions, please. Looking forward to that on 011 883 0702 and 072 702 1702. 8 minutes to 6.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays,
12 to 1.
Does the ANC believe that this is still a policy that works when it comes to empowerment?
We are not going to be party to a race-based anti-redress, anti-transformation tirade of the Democratic Alliance. For them, they are affirming that the future is white and the future is male, because BBE fights on both fronts, both in terms of gender as well as in terms of race.
Mahlengi Bengu is the ANC spokesperson.
Midday Report
With Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
Some communities in South Africa still don't have access to the internet, but that is about to change. Telkom recently sold over 4,000 SwiftNet towers to an Actis-led consortium that plans to expand its network right across South Africa. The transformational 6.75 billion rand deal, facilitated by Standard Bank CIB, is a win-win for all, and many rural and unserved communities will experience internet access for the very first time. Watch the full story. Search CIB Stories of Impact. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Live extra with Checkers, SA's #1 in value supermarket. Save big on deals like a Quelle Natural Still or Sparkling Spring Water, a 500ml 6-pack for $36.99. Kellogg's Cornflakes cereal 1 kg for $74.99. And buy 3 Colgate selected toothpastes, 50 or 75ml, and get the cheapest one free. Valid until Sunday at Checkers, Checkers Hyper, or shop on 6060.
10 years ago, Illuma Capital set out with one goal: to help people like you build a legacy for tomorrow. Through personalized strategies and unwavering dedication, we've been instrumental in helping our clients achieve their financial dreams, whether it's securing retirement, growing wealth, or planning for the unexpected. For a decade, we've been trusted to guide your financial journey with expertise and care. Visit illuma.co.za today. Illuma Capital is a licensed FSP. T's and C's apply.
702. WhatsApp John
on 072
702
1702.
Hi John, Sam from Randburg here. My chosen song that not many people may know of, it's called Me versus Maradona versus Elvis by a band called Brand New.
Hi John and everybody. An amazing artist that I don't think a lot of people know about that's in my playlist is called Zucchero. I believe he's an Italian artist, and he has done one song with Randy Crawford, and I love absolutely anything from Zucchero.
Change your heart, look around you. Change your heart, will I stand you? I need your loving. Like the sunshine, everybody's got to learn sometime. Everybody's got to learn sometime. Everybody's got to learn sometime.
Sounds of Zucchero. Everybody's got to learn sometime. An Italian musician. Zucchero, the Italian word for sugar. Apparently that's what one of his teachers called him in primary school. Sweet kid who went on to make some really good music.
Good evening, Tate John Casey from the south. That gem for me, it's a song by Bongezwe Mabandla. Okay, I'm just gonna pick one song, but all his songs. I'll pick Ndogulandela for now, which means I shall follow you, or I will follow you. Thanks. Cheers.
Hi, John. I'm currently listening to Joran Jones and the Indications. It's on my playlist currently. Beautiful, beautiful music. I've shared a link with you. Beautiful, beautiful music. Oscar here from Redfontaine. Thank you.
Joran Jones and the Indications, what a cool name. I don't know their music at all, actually. They've been around for 13 years. Thank you very much for sharing that. That song is called Flower Moon. Now, I do wonder if some of the things that people say, well, you know, not many people will know about that, is to some degree to do with generation. So maybe you've picked up a song from family or friends, or just from your curiosity about music from an earlier generation. And this WhatsApp text note tends to suggest that. I'll read it. I'm a Dire Straits fan and I was born in 1985. Most of my friends don't know the band, but whenever I play Walk of Life, they recognize the song. They just don't know the band. And a wonderful coincidence, because you say you were born in 1985 and Walk of Life came out in 1985. Dire Straits' fifth studio album, Brothers in Arms. I'm John Perlman. Hope you've enjoyed being with us as much as we've enjoyed having you on 702 Drive.
And now, The Money Show.
With Stephen Grootes, live on 92.7 and 106 FM. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
And DSTV channel 856.
The Money Show with Stephen Grootes is brought to you by ABSA CIB, proud sponsor of the ABSA Africa Financial Markets Index 2025.